Welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm Brian, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Well, we got a lot to cover, and obviously, I'm at my home studio today, not at the radio station. And I took the day off from the radio station because, like so many other people in America, I was up late last night watching the Super Bowl, and so I thought I would do the show from my home studio today, and I am doing just that. And of course, even though I'm here in my studio at home taking calls, and the number's toll free, no matter where you are watching, 1-888-465-2631. If you're watching live, and the number is pinned at the top of the chat. So I got a lot to cover. It's been a very, very busy news weekend, and we have a whole bunch of Super Bowl. Should the Super Bowl Monday be a holiday? Because I know on the Monday after the Super Bowl, the roads are, well, pretty empty, and a lot of people calling sick today anyway and don't make it into work, and maybe Super Bowl Monday should be a holiday because, And another reason, too, I took today off from the radio station is I have to leave really early in the morning, and on the Monday after the Super Bowl, there's a lot of intoxicated people on the road, and it's not the safest of times to be on the highway. Now, this is, of course, the entrance to the home of the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. And he came in, and this is the picture that I have in the thumbnail on YouTube. Look at this. Now, look who's with him. Now, see, and they're going nuts because it is, after all, Mar-A-Lago. But watch who he's with, and there's a lot of questions here. And there he is, of course, with Melania, and right behind him, Vivek Ramaswamy and Ramaswamy's wife. And, I had this video pop up on my Twitter, and I saw this, and I was like, that's not an accident. There's a lot of people President Trump could have walked in with. And the way that Ramaswamy and his wife are walking in with President Trump and Melania looks like he's the vice president and the second lady coming in. So my question to you is, pretty simple question. Is Trump thinking about picking Vivek Ramaswamy as his vice president? I don't know. Oh, hold on. I got to let the cat out of the studio here. Hold on. Right back. All right, Luna. Those are the kind of things I don't have to worry about at the radio station, taking care of the dog and the cat. But the way that Ramaswamy is coming in with, and his wife, with President Trump and Melania, it looks like the president's coming in with the vice president. And I want to hear your thoughts on this. I stick to what I've said from the beginning. I'm voting for President Trump no matter who he picks. We need to have President Trump back. We need to have President Trump back yesterday. And if President Trump does not come back and win in November and take the oath for his second term in January, the country as we know it is finished. And, typically, I don't care who the vice president is, because you're always voting for the top of the ticket, not the bottom of the ticket. But in this instance, since President Trump only has one term left to him, whoever his vice president is certainly has, a pretty good chance of walking into the Republican nomination in 2028 and being the second MAGA president in 2028, right? So who the vice president is more important by far than it usually is. And, the thing about Trump walking in like this with Vivek Ramaswamy and Ramaswamy's wife, and, he could have walked in with anyone, but he walked in with him. There's Melania looking great, as always, And you look at that. Does it look like it? And I know President Trump did say, I don't know, a couple months ago, when they were talking about who his vice presidential pick was going to be, he said he didn't think it was going to be any of the people that were running against him. And, of course, Ramaswamy is one of those people. But I don't think that was an accident. The other thing with Trump here, too, one thing that Trump could very well be doing, there's a couple things, actually, President Trump could be doing with this, okay? And one of the things very well might be, he might just be testing out what the reaction will be, right? What will the reaction of the MAGA base be to Ramaswamy? And, Ramaswamy, I've not changed my opinions about Vivek Ramaswamy. I've talked about him at great length in the past. But I also say we got to trust Trump in whatever he does. And President Trump will do things and pick people and things that you may not like. But no matter what President Trump does, no matter who he surrounds himself with, we've always got to trust Trump because that's it. This is it. So no matter who he picks, I'll be with him. I think most everybody who's on the MAGA train will be with Trump. But also, another thing, though, Tucker Carlson said a couple months back that, didn't he say that if he picked Vivek, he wouldn't support him? Did Tucker say that about Vivek, or was it about Nikki Haley? You guys remember? Tucker Carlson said, if he picks this person to be his running mate, not only will I not vote for him, I will be an activist against him. Was that Vivek? I think Tucker Carlson said that about Vivek Ramaswamy. But here's the possibilities with this grand entrance at Mar-A-Lago with President Trump and Ramaswamy. One, he's decided he's going to be his running mate. Two, I think it was Nikki Haley that he said that about, not Vivek. Yeah, it was Nikki Haley that Tucker said that about. But President Trump did. Yeah, Tucker Carlson said if he picked Nikki Haley, he would be an activist against Trump if he picked Nikki Haley. It wasn't Vivek. But he did say, President Trump, that there was no one on that stage that he was going to pick as his running mate. All right? And then we get this grand entrance. But here's the possibilities that I can see. And if there's another one I missed, you can let me know. One, there's nothing to see here. They're just there and they came out together, which I think is not likely, Other possibility is he's made the choice that he's his running mate. That's a possibility. Third choice is that he is testing our reaction, the MAGA base. What is our reaction to Ramaswamy if he were to choose Ramaswamy? And there's another one is that President Trump is using Vivek Ramaswamy because to help with the youth vote. I mean, for President Trump not to embrace Vivek Ramaswamy, there's no purpose in him doing that. Ramaswamy is very popular among a huge demo in this country, right? He is very popular among young people, not just millennials, but younger than that. I've seen it myself. I've seen Ramaswamy in person, and young people go nuts over this guy. So why would you not bring someone on your campaign? I'm not talking about the White House. Why would you not bring someone on your campaign who's very, very popular among young people to attract that young vote? So those are the possibilities that I can think of. If you've got any others, I certainly welcome them. Me personally, I would rather Ramaswamy not be in the Trump White House for the second term. I don't fully trust him. I don't think I ever will. You got to be careful of people, and this is one of the big lessons of Obama that we're paying for today in so many ways. I mean, Obama is running the country right now through Biden. We know this. We talk about this a lot. Look at what's going on at the southern border. That's Obama. I mean, look at this critical race theory thing. That's Obama. Even last night at the Super Bowl with this lift every voice, the Black National Anthem, that's Obama. So hold on, caller. So supporting someone that we didn't know about and have no background information, and all of a sudden they're there, well, that's not that's a dangerous thing to do. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
You're right on that, but here's the deal. Remember, Ramaswamy in those debates, he was a surrogate for Trump. He was the one that was spouting Trump's things, and he was doing Trump's job. Trump never had to go to the debate because Ramaswamy was there. So I'm not saying that he is the choice, and this could be a deke because, we've talked about who could or could not be the choice for the vice presidency. This could be a big deke.
Well, wasn't
it? People think that
a big what? It could be a big what?
Deke.
What's
deke.
that?
That's a hockey term.
I don't know about hockey.
A fake.
A fake out. Okay, fake out.
A fake out.
Okay, big deke?
Yeah.
I never heard that before. I thought you were saying something else. I'm like, what? What, the thing with, Ramaswamy, at the end of his campaign, remember Ramaswamy was saying, vote Vivek, save Trump, and he took that picture with those guys wearing the T-shirts. Remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that now. I also remember when Trump went to Iowa and all these football games, and he goes through that house, and all those guys in that frat house was for him, right?
Yeah. That's true.
So I don't know if he particularly needs Ramaswamy, but Ramaswamy could help out really, really well.
He can help with the youth vote, but again, if Trump picks him to be in the White House, that's the way it is, and we're going to have to accept it and everything else. And I'm never going to disagree with President Trump. He knows what he's got to do to get reelected and to save this country and Western civilization. So no matter who he picks, no matter what he does, no matter who his advisors are, we're going to have to live with it and support it. However, I don't trust Vivek Ramaswamy. I just don't trust him. I just don't trust him.
And look, it's Trump's choice to change his mind anytime he wants to. He did say, you're right, he did say that nobody on that stage was going to be his vice president.
That's right.
But what's stopping Trump from changing his mind?
That's true. Well, hey, Mike, it's good to hear from you. Thanks so much. Yeah, if you're wondering, guys, I am not at the radio station today. I took today off the radio because I was up late last night, very late for me, to watch the Super Bowl. Oh, Deborah gifted a membership. Thanks so much. Remember, those of you that are members, you get all the cool member emojis that only members have. And, of course, you get your number in a special color so you stand out in the chat if you're a member. So thanks for doing that, Deborah. So I knew I was going to be up late. And to get up and do show prep to be on the radio, I knew I couldn't do it with like 3 hours sleep today, right? So I took today off the radio. But I'm still here streaming live on YouTube. And if you noticed, I barely made it for the live stream here in my house. Okay, so because what happened is I was up very late and I woke up early and I did all my show prep and I'm like, wow, but I'm tired. So I laid down on the couch and fell back asleep for a little while. So if I barely made it here to do the live stream, how would I have been able to drive all the way to the radio station, which is, about a 45-minute drive from my house in the morning. If you're new to my channel, my name's Brian Craig. Subscribe to this channel. You'll love it a lot. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'm the most pro-Trump guy you will find anywhere. But, just another thing here about Vivek. Anytime Vivek comes up in discussion, if you read the comments on my YouTube video or even in the live chat, there's a lot of people that are MAGA that love this guy. So, but I stick by what I said. President Trump did not have to come in with this guy and like this. And it is not an accident. And Vivek's loving every minute of it. When these guys run for president and they're in the primaries, and then all of a sudden there's Melania looking good, of course, and then they're no longer on a stage speaking to groups of people multiple times a day and doing national interviews, they miss the attention. So maybe Trump just brought him out because he knew that Vivek needed a little dose of that public attention and love. I don't know, but I hope it's not Vivek. But if it is, we're going to have to live with it. So we got a lot to cover today on the stream, and you heard Mike just called in. Even though I'm not at the radio station here at my home studio, I am taking calls live. If you're watching live, the number is pinned to the top of the chat, the call-in toll-free, no matter where you are calling from. Now, last night, when I watched the Super Bowl last night, I watched it on the Paramount Plus app. And I don't know, those of you that watched it, I don't know if you watched it like actually on television or on the app like I did. And I was curious, they had a lot of stuff going on that I don't know if they showed on television. But anytime the Super Bowl's on, they show things that you don't normally see elsewhere. And I want to talk about a couple of those as we go on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
I love this format more than any format because I get more of you than I get of everything else.
I know. I hear that from people, but I got to make a living.
I know you got to make a living, and you want to know the truth? I think you can make a living eventually doing what you're doing here too. Here's the deal. I'm glad that I do trust Swamby.
You can't even say his name, Richie. I mean, I'm not making fun of him, but Vivek, you gotta give the country over to some whose name you can't say, or I'm not even sure how to spell it.
I got what you're saying.
Yeah, let me before we go on, because I want to comment on that. Vivek Ramaswamy, his name is in the title of the YouTube video here. I had to Google his name to make sure I spelled it right. And then even though I did, I still copied and pasted it, his last name, because I wanted to make sure I didn't misspell it.
I get all tongue-tied with it. Tongue-tied with that.
So we're going to give the country over to a guy whose name we can't pronounce or spell?
Well, I'll tell you this much. Believe this when I tell you this. This is going to be a little funny. Let's be quick. My garage door collapsed on me. It came down, and I couldn't move it. I couldn't move it up. The main spring broke, but a week ago.
What do you mean?
And it took. I got it fixed. My wife closed it, and it just dropped like a rock.
Oh my goodness!
And couldn't open it up.
Wow.
And her car was stuck. Her car was stuck inside, and my car was outside. Thank God.
Oh my goodness!
So in other words, so we couldn't even lift it up with the weight of the door. I mean,
wow.
It's a genie, and you couldn't even pull the cord. You couldn't open it up.
You're lucky. You could get killed with that.
Oh, yeah. The guy told me dogs have gotten killed. People have gotten hurt. I mean, it's solid weight. So the guy, we call up, and the company that fixes garage, he says, we got one guy around the block from you. And he said the guy's name was like Musapa Sapa, some crazy name. I said, and it turned out to be Mike, and he's a Muslim. He changed his name to be easy. So
his name's not. He goes by Mike because he doesn't want people to know he's Muslim, I guess, when they call. Or
well, no, everyone knows he's Muslim, but nobody could pronounce that last name.
Oh,
but he uses that.
Okay.
All right. Here's the deal. I think I've sat and I've looked at all of them. And I think he's going to do the Scaramucci deal. He's going to be running the show because he's a great organizer. He's a businessman. He's not beholden to anyone else. Scaramucci had that same position, but then he turned on Trump. You remember that guy. But I'm thinking that, and I'm thinking that they're getting closer. But I think Stefanik is going to be his choice because she's a woman.
Yeah.
Because the women in this country is still his big key, and she is a tough cookie, and she has been 100% behind him. She was interviewed, and she actually, I think it was Meet the Press, where she said, yeah, she would have turned the election. She would have done opposite of what Mike Pence did.
Well,
she's a tough cookie.
One of the things that Trump is Stefanik, a lot of people are talking about her. President Trump said picking, not just vice president, but picking people in general, loyalty is one of the most important things.
She's very loyal.
And what has Vivek done to show loyalty? I mean, the last day or two of his campaign, he was talking about Trump getting convicted of crimes.
Yeah.
So that I don't know. So can Trump, in his own mind, trust Vivek? I don't know. I don't think so.
I think he can within the White House. He's gonna play a part in the campaign. He's gonna end up with some kind of. He's gonna end up, I believe, maybe chief of staff. The guy is an organizer.
Well, I was one of Trump's speeches this past week. Where was he speaking? It was Nevada. Kevin McCarthy was in the audience. I was shocked to find that out. Kevin McCarthy was in the audience, and I'm wondering what's that about? Is there a chance that, because President Trump's always said good things about Kevin McCarthy, could Kevin McCarthy be the chief of staff in Trump's second term?
He could be, but I think Vivek has, you say you don't trust him. He can't be bought. He's wealthy as hell. He doesn't need Soros' money.
But hold on, he may already have been bought by Soros. He's a billionaire at a very young age with that Soros. So maybe they've already bought. Maybe he's kind of like,
Manchurian
candidate. Remember The Departed, where The Scorsese movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jack Nicholson. Oh, it's a great movie. Jack Nicholson plays a mob boss, and he recruits little kids from the neighborhood, and then he sends them to the police academy, and he's got all these spies inside the police force 20, 30 years later,
I think Stefanik is going to be the choice. I was thinking Zeldin originally, but Stefanik, what she has done, and then look how she's a quiet ticking bomb. She's quiet, she's reserved, she's respectful, but she could debate. And when she has fire coming out of her mouth, when she took those college presidents and just destroyed them, I mean, she's going to be the choice, because he's still got a problem with women, believe it or not. Not some women in this country, and she checks all the boxes.
Like I said,
New York.
And I have covered, and by the people that are just joining, the reason I'm not at the radio station today, I'm at my home studios, because I knew I was going to be up late for the Super Bowl, and I didn't want to have to go to bed at 7, 8 o'clock last night to make it on the radio. And the day after the Super Bowl is one of the most difficult days to do a radio show, because so many people are off work. The other half of the people that are working are hungover. It's just a nightmare day. And I didn't want to drive.
It's a call-in sick day.
It's a call-in sick day. Country. And I got about a 45-minute drive to the radio station on a road filled with drunks. So what's on the radio right now is a best of show, and I'm here.
I turned on the radio and I heard you talking about New York being in play on the radio at the time.
It may still be, but I barely made it here. I came on here about 5 minutes later than I normally do during the week, and I'm at my house. So that tells you what. But the thing with Stefanik, okay, out of all the presidential elections that I've ever covered all these years, okay. By the way, I don't agree that Trump has trouble with women. That's something that I know the mainstream, mainly Fox News, but the mainstream media keep promoting. I don't buy that. Just like he doesn't have trouble with blacks or other groups. But this is the only presidential election where I've had any detailed long-term discussions talking about the vice presidential pick, and it's because that Trump only has one term left. And we've never been in a situation like this where a president has to choose someone who's also going to be the nominee. But basically what we're talking about is who's Trump going to endorse for president in 2028, right? And that's why it's so. Now, whoever he picks may screw up and he may not endorse them, but that's why we talk about it so much this time.
Let me say something. Can I say something? Can I bring up, this is pertinent. I guess maybe down the road you're going to bring this up this morning. How that, with this Biden situation, how they're trying, they had a guy on Meet the Press yesterday. He was a bald-headed guy I heard lies after lies after lies, how they're attacking the prosecutor and it wasn't appropriate and all this other crap. I mean, saying that he exposed Biden for what Biden is. We all knew it, but what we see is what we get, and they were attacking because he's a Republican prosecutor, and they're saying everything he exposed this president.
Well, I tell you, what they're talking about doing at the White House is, and you can see there was a little bit of this over the weekend.
Yeah, they're panicking.
They're talking about firing Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, for allowing this report to come out without redacting the truth that he's out of it. And they and you can see who's running the government right now. It's Jill Biden, because Jill Biden is the one who's in total freak out that they that this press conference happened after the report and all this. You can see she's the one.
She wrote a letter. She wrote a letter about it, or she's made a statement.
She's made a lot of.
Usually, so Brian, this is outrageous. The press is taking up for him too. By the way, NBC is right on the back. They're all on it again. It's like it never happened.
They're so out of control at the White House over that report of telling the truth about Biden's mental decline. They may be stupid enough to fire the Attorney General. And, and I hope they do. If they go to fire the Attorney General, I'm not so sure that would stand. They may not have the authority to fire. The 25th Amendment, and I learned something I did not know, that the House and the Senate can invoke the 25th Amendment. And that process is starting in the House now, by the way. But for the we all know about the vice president. The vice president has to get half the cabinet to sign off on it. We already have one cabinet member, and that's Merrick Garland, has already signed off on the mental incompetence of the president, Biden, by releasing that report from the special counsel. And if the White House goes to fire or punish Garland because of this report, I mean, this isn't some conservative report. This isn't like out of some Republican committee. Merrick Garland is a radical Democrat. Look at how he's behaved in the last 3 years.
Yeah,
and he's the one who released the report about Biden's mental health.
Well, it's not just the mental health. They're shaking over the fact that he, as a senator and as the vice president, had no business taking one document home.
That's right.
Not even one document. And yet he did, and they're saying that it's equal. It's an equal thing. It isn't an equal thing. He had no business. Hey, let me tell you something. If that was you or me working within the government doing that, you'd be in jail for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
It's crazy crap here. And like I said, they're going crazy about this, but you say it's the White House, but the media, left-wing media, is already carrying the water for this guy. I watched Jonathan Karl. On Stephanopoulos yesterday. On this week, I watched the other. I watch all of it because I want to see what the enemy is talking about. And let me tell you something. It looks like he had a grudge. This prosecutor, it's all that made up crap. I mean, this is outrageous. People can see what's going on here.
All right, Richie, it's good to hear from you.
Have a good morning.
You take care. Now, guys, I want to tell you the free shipping offer for MyPillow products with my promo code KANE at checkout, KANE at checkout, continues. And so, like, for example, the MyPillow towel set, which I dried off with my MyPillow towels this morning, 50% off plus free shipping with our promo code KANE at checkout. So you get, and that's how it works. It's free shipping site-wide, but you also get the special, see? And here's another great one. The Giza Dream Sheets. My wife and I, we have several sets of these. They are the best. Huge discount. Look at this. The queen size, $59.98. The king size, we have a queen size bed. The king size, $69.98. They come in all sizes, by the way, and those are heavily discounted. So, and you get this massive discount plus free shipping with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. So it's a huge savings, and of course you're supporting my content at the same time. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
PJ from Broward.
Hey, PJ, what's up?
Hey, could you imagine when Vivek Ramaswamy walked out and his wife walked out with Trump? What must have Nikki Haley? Her blood pressure must have gone through the roof.
Well, you think Nikki Haley thinks she's going to be the vice presidential pick of Trump?
No, just the idea that she's going nowhere and Vivek looks like he is, and she hates him with a passion. There's real bad blood between them.
The reaction because she's the one, she got exposed about her military-industrial complex thing by him, and then, of course, he brought up her daughter on TikTok and all that. For Nikki Haley to feel like you described, she'd have to be self-aware, and she's insane. She's not lucid.
Yeah.
She's completely out of it, Nikki Haley.
Well, you know what, though? It's going to be interesting to see what happens, to see how much she's willing to humiliate herself, because in less than 2 weeks, I think it's the 24th, which is Saturday, South Carolina primary, when she loses to Trump by a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. She's going to be creamed.
What's she going to do? She always does this stupid happy talk. No matter how ridiculous she loses by, it's always some happy talk. How do you do happy talk when you're losing a landslide in your own state?
Well,
how does that happen?
I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. With Nikki Haley, who's she's worse than Hillary, okay? Because not only is she a warmonger, but she's completely insane. See, Nikki Haley's on TV every day doing interviews. Look, and I was showing Ramaswamy. When's the last time you've seen an interview with Ramaswamy in mainstream media or DeSantis? Once they're no longer running, they're not on TV anymore. And Nikki Haley is doing these television interviews, which are really commercials for the military-industrial complex about carpet bombing Iran and all of that stuff. So, her backers may stick with her to keep her on TV to promote war because that's what she does best. I don't know. I wouldn't want to lose in my home state.
Yeah, maybe this will cause her. Do you think this might drive her so over the edge, especially if he picks Vivek for vice president? Do you think that would drive her so much over the edge that she would run in maybe no labels or something for president?
Now, I'll tell you what, this is, again, we're going to find out right quick because South Carolina is coming up. And a normal person like Jeb Bush in the first campaign dropped out before the Florida primary because he didn't want to have the humiliation of losing to Trump in the state that twice elected him governor. Nikki Haley. See, they still think there's a path for Trump to be convicted in this January 6th trial and prevent him from being president. And Nikki Haley, even though she's losing these primaries, she's still picking up delegates. And in her sick, twisted mind, okay, and she's still having fundraisers with Democrats and everything. When she goes to the convention and then all of a sudden Trump is this is in her mind. Trump's not eligible for one of these criminal cases. She'll be in second place with the delegate count. So she's got this fantasy.
Yeah.
She's got this fantasy of a brokered convention where things go to her because she's in second place. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm talking about her twisted reality.
Hey, by the way, speaking of Trump trials, guess what this Thursday is, the 15th, right?
What's that?
You know what? Fani Willis Day. It's Fani Willis Day. She has to go before this judge to see if they're going to take her off the case.
What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen?
Well, I don't know. The thing is I don't know, but this guy called Judge McAfee, I don't know what his mindset is. If he's at all fair, yeah, he absolutely would take her off. But the thing is now there's new evidence. Her thing was, she says she only got romantic with Nathan Wade after she hired him.
Well,
but
apparently they were living together. I was hearing over the weekend.
Yeah. Well, the thing is there's evidence now that she and Wade were together romantically before she hired him.
That's right.
Which makes a big difference. But you know what? I don't think to me, it doesn't make any difference. She still should be taken off the case because she's making money. You know, by stretching this RICO case and make it long and involved, guess what? Nathan Wade makes even more. He already made about almost $700,000.
$657,000 well, you know, she and I think this is likely that she's going to be arrested and charged and booked into her own jail at some point. The Fulton County Jail. I heard over the weekend they were actually living together. At what point, I don't know. It doesn't matter because she's denied. She's the one guilty of a RICO violation.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm hoping there's strings here, and you know, like she had meetings in the White House with Biden, you know, so this should disqualify everything, the whole thing, not just her case. Yeah, that's pretty much a given. I think that's out the door, but it should also disqualify both of Jack Smith's cases.
Now, so PJ, a lot of you guys don't know this, but PJ here is a writer for Newsbusters. PJ Gladnick from Newsbusters. PJ here, and you can tell people about this because you'll know more than I do, but Mark Levin was citing one of your stories.
This about
week.
Politico.
Yeah, what was that about? So when was this? When was Mark Levin talking about you? What was the story about?
Well, no, he wasn't. I don't know if he was talking about me by voice, but he cited it on Twitter.
Your story.
Yeah. It was about Politico. They talked about how Biden mixed up the president of Mexico with Egypt, but you know what? That wasn't the biggest thing. The thing that everybody's talking about
there's pyramids there are pyramids in both places, right? They have those pyramids in Mexico. Maybe that's what confused Biden.
Yeah, well, you visited some of them. Anyway, the thing is the big thing was, like, when I watched it, I went, holy mackerel, where he had a brain freeze. He says, he was like really mad at the special counsel for claiming that he forgot when his son died. He says, every day I wear this rosary from Our Lady of, and then it's like a few seconds. Yeah, well, that was the big thing. So guess what? That was the thing that there was actually two Politico stories about Biden, and this situation, and neither of them mentioned that what everybody's talking about. So just another thing.
He grabbed onto the rosary and then forgot the name of the church.
Yeah. I mean, so maybe it was Our Lady. In his case, Our Lady of Perpetual Forgetfulness.
Exactly.
But I wonder if this. I'm starting to wonder. They did it twice in a row. I'm always wondering how far do I have to push Politico before because they've been wishing me happy birthday on my birthday for the last 2 years.
Really?
So
really?
Wow. Yeah.
You're on the list.
So I'm on a list, but the thing is I'm wondering, this is the year they're finally going to get ticked off with me. But, no, I think the reason why they started wishing me happy birthday is they had an employee that it took him forever to fire. I don't know why. The guy did nothing. He was late. The guy called Mike Elk, but it's a long story. But it was pretty funny. This guy, he did like 4 stories or 5 stories in like 6 months. And they were paying a full salary. He basically was doing nothing. So I was doing these funny stories about it. So anyway,
those are appreciate the call, PJ. It's good to hear from you. Now, see you on the cruise, which is coming up.
Yeah, I've been. One thing I recommend to people: watch the cruise videos of the Celebrity Beyond, because you learn a lot in what to do. And I saw yours. Yeah, I saw your video.
I appreciate it. All right, PJ, take care. Yeah, PJ goes with us on our cruises. We're leaving at the end of April. And we took a tour on Friday. When I got off the air Friday, I went to the port and we took a tour of the ship we're cruising on, the Celebrity Beyond. And the reason we take the tour is because we got to scout out all the locations that we're doing our onboard activities at. and make sure everything's all, what we want and it's going to work out. And we did that, and we changed the location of some of our activities because I didn't like the room when we got there. The room was not the right room for different reasons. And I also picked out our area of the dining room and our tables and everything for our group, so we're all together. But I made a YouTube video touring the ship that's on this channel. So when you're done watching this video, if you haven't done it already, go check it out. You'll like it. Now, so I was watching the Super Bowl. Like I said, I don't know how much was on television or not, because I watched the Super Bowl on the Paramount Plus app. And they had coverage a couple hours before the game even started, which I know you see a lot of things on TV that they don't show normally before football games. So they probably did show this on television too. But the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice. And I must say, that is, when I saw the idea of a Black National Anthem being played at football games, I watched it. And I watched the whole thing, and they, and then they did America the Beautiful, and then they did the Star Spangled Banner. And I noticed that at least what the live video I was watching from the game, I didn't see any of the players take a knee during the Star Spangled Banner. And I don't know, did you guys learn of any of them taking a knee, which I find disgusting? I mean, these guys are blessed. They make ungodly amounts of money playing a kid's game, and then they're victims. But I'm wondering if the Black National Anthem is played at all the games as a compromise to the players, to not get them to stop them from kneeling during the Star Spangled Banner. I wonder what that is. But when I watched the entire thing, and when they sang Lift Every Voice, which is credited as the Black National Anthem, that's the first time I've heard the entire song from beginning to end. I've heard a line or two of it. It's an awful song, isn't it? It's a terrible song. It doesn't say much, and it's not a good song. But here's the thing about this so-called Black National Anthem. I think it's outrageous. We are in a post-racial society, okay? When, I didn't vote for Obama. This guy's a big problem. We're having problems because of Obama today, as I was talking about. In fact, some of the biggest problems we have in this country today are a direct result of Obama, the southern border being first and foremost. But when a black man was elected and reelected, we're in a post-racial country. And if you were to write, and this is my opinion, I think a lot of people agree with this. If you were to write a history of the civil rights movement in America, I don't know where you would begin. Let them begin it at 1619 and if they want. But no matter where you began writing the history of the civil rights movement in this country, the final page would be Barack Obama's second inauguration. When you have a black man elected and reelected as president of the United States, that's the end of it. We are a post-racial society. But what's happened is the Democrats didn't want this to happen, okay? They didn't want this country to be post-racial. What the Democrats, what they do, and you still see this today, what Democrats do to gain support and win supportive groups is by putting groups of people against one another, right? Blacks against whites, whites against blacks, gays against Christians. You can make a long list of different combinations of groups that the Democrats put against one another for their benefit, the Democrats' benefit. And when Barack Obama was reelected and we're in a post-racial society, this started a complete panic with the Democrats, and they are in hardcore racial division mode. And they've had, sadly, they've had a lot of success. Okay? I mean, come on. That's why you don't see white people in television commercials anymore. Every movie or television show stars a very few white people, unless they're a villain, And so there's a lot of racial division being pushed by the left. And this idea of a black national anthem, is out. We have one national anthem. It's our Star Spangled Banner. And I know they say it's a racist song. Are they out of their minds? That's a racist song? What part of that song is racist? And what they tell us is that if you go to the, what is it, the fifth stanza, they tell you to go to the original Francis Scott Key poem and go to the fifth stanza or something, which is not even a part of the song, and there you find something. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. The Star Spangled Banner is not a racist song. It's a great song about a great story about how our great American flag was still there, okay, in the Battle of Baltimore in the War of 1812 and withstood everything that was put up against it, including today the left. And they have this Lift Every Voice, which is just a terrible song. I'd never heard the song before, and it just was. I'm like, what? This is an awful song. Yeah. But the idea that there's a separate national anthem for black people is a terrible thing. There's not different anthems for different groups of people based on whatever characteristics, skin color, religion, whatever. We have one national. This country is America, the United States of America. You gotta, because the Democrats believe if you're in North or South America, you're an American now to further their need. Like if you're a Canadian, you're an American. If you're Chilean, you're an American, right? Give me a break. They've changed 1984, George Orwell. They've changed the meaning of words, and American is one of them. They've been trying very hard to change the meaning of. But the Star Spangled Banner is the anthem for our country and everyone in it. This is the most diverse country ever in the history of the world, the United States, okay? Not only are we the most diverse country, we have people at every level of everything in our country, not just government, but in our lives, no matter where you go, it's diverse, right? Every religion, every skin color, every background, every nationality, right? And the idea that there's a separate anthem for black people is just a terrible, terrible thing. But what I'm wondering is, though, did they agree to this as a concession to the black players to get them to stop kneeling for the national anthem? This is an article. It says here, this is in Fox News. The black national anthem causes stir on social media. Andra Day performed Lift Every Voice and Sing, known as the black national anthem, ahead of the Super Bowl, received ovation from the fans. And not only is the song awful, I thought her performance was awful, and the dancers behind her. I don't know who this singer is, but she's not very good. She's no Reba McEntire, I'll tell you that. It says here, Day was tapped to sing the song last month as part of the NFL's pregame festivities. Reba McEntire sang the national anthem, and then Post Malone did America the Beautiful. I don't know why they do America the Beautiful either. I mean, I love America the Beautiful, but it's not our anthem. They want to have, do they want to have like a buffer between the black national anthem and the real national anthem? So they do America the Beautiful. It's so bizarre. Okay. Day saying NFL fans on social media hurled criticism for the league having the black national anthem performed. It started earlier in the day and continued. Matt Gaetz wrote on X about a conversation he had with his wife about why they weren't going to watch the Super Bowl. They're desecrating America's national anthem by playing something called the Black National Anthem, Matt Gaetz wrote. And Matt Gaetz is right here. By having the Black National Anthem, they're saying our national anthem is indeed racist, which it's not. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Barbara in Baltimore.
Hey, Barbara. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It was a great game last night. One of the best football games I think I've seen ever.
I don't know. I haven't watched a football game in a while, but when I see a player go, I've never seen a player go up and not only yell at the head coach, but put hands on him and knock the playbook out of his hands on the ground. I mean, my goodness, Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Well, that was a first.
He should have been tossed out of the game.
I'm surprised he wasn't. But here's the good news about Taylor Swift. I didn't call to talk about her. But,
no, please don't.
Well, truth, she's She had a flag that says Trump wins. Trump won. Democrats cheated with a flag that was she had held up last night. So I'm grateful for that. Okay, because she's not one of my favorite people either. But she's a very good talented. Well, I did. It's on Truth Social.
I saw her doing a. I think that might have been a. I think that might have been a joke. I think that might have been a meme that someone put together. I did see her doing funneling of alcohol. Great role model to the kids. Anyway, what'd you call about today? What was the reason for your call?
Well, I'm calling about the Black National Anthem, and you're right. And I thought I would call before all your racist people start calling in.
You mean like Jay from Jersey?
Well, I don't remember their names. That's how insignificant they are. But they all sound stupid. But you're absolutely right with what you're saying. Except it is a nice song. I didn't like that version of it. I don't know who this chick was singing this thing, and all the demonstrative and the somebody leading the orchestra to sing that song. I've heard that song sung by one person at a microphone, and it sounds a heck of a lot better than that did.
Yeah.
But the national anthem is the only song that, as far as an anthem, that should represent this country at any event.
Exactly.
And I feel like you do about it. The Democrats are not happy with unity in the races. They're just not happy with it because things work well. I know a lot of my white friends who voted for Barack Obama. I didn't vote for Barack Obama because he's a Marxist and I knew it. But a lot of people that I know voted for Barack because, they had the feeling like black people will finally realize we don't have anything against them. We can all, like that Rodney King, now we can all just get along. And instead he came in and was the most racially divided president, in my opinion, and especially to be a black man who has won the presidency of this great country.
Absolutely.
And then his wife comes along and says this is the first time in her life she's proud of her country. And for people who are thinking that Michelle Obama is going to be on a ticket that the Democrats, no, they're not. No, they're not, because this is Barack Obama's third term, and we certainly don't want him back in the
Well,
White
David
House
Axelrod, who's as close to the Obamas as anyone can be, he's been with them for many, many years. He's from Chicago too. He said she's not running, and I don't think she is. And this thing with the Black National Anthem. The only other time I heard the song, I saw it in its entirety because I just remembered. I was at a Martin Luther King Day event, and they had somebody perform it.
Yes.
And I do remember that. And but
it's
there's
not an awful song.
It sounded pretty bad last night. I listened to this girl sing this song last night, and it didn't sound good to me. I'm not. The song sounded very mediocre with her singing it. But the idea that there's a Black National Anthem, couple things. One, we should not have national anthems for different ethnic groups. That's divisive, and we're united as one country and one people with our diversity. And the other thing, it also, by saying this is the Black National Anthem, is like saying that the real national anthem is racist, like these lunatics say, and it's not. Then the Star Spangled Banner has nothing to do. And you're from Baltimore. The Star Spangled Banner is about the Battle of Baltimore and the War of 1812. Right. And Francis Scott Key was there, and he witnessed it, and he wrote that great poem that they turned into a song. And
people don't know their history, Brian. People don't read and know their history, and with all of the racial division that's being sowed, and mainly by Democrats.
Yeah,
racial division, just like those racists who call you. Can you imagine the kids of those people who call you with all that vitriol that they're teaching their children? That's what we're seeing in the street when we see the violence and the kids that are bullying others. Those people, like those folks who call you, that's what they tell their kids. That's how they raise their children.
That's right.
And that's one of the problems that we have. But that the national anthem is one of the best songs to me. I love it. It brings tears to my eyes when I hear it. And that's just all I got to say about
all
that.
right. Well, I appreciate the call, Barbara. Thank you. I cut her off as she was saying goodbye. I apologize, Barbara. Yeah, and if you ever go to Washington, go through the Smithsonian, the flag that Francis Scott Key actually wrote the Star Spangled Banner about is on display, and it's a really cool thing to see. Now, this article here, Matt Gaetz said this. He says they're desecrating America's national anthem by playing something called the Black National Anthem. He's and you know what, Matt Gaetz, he's right about that, isn't he? And he couldn't be more right. And that's the way it is. Now, obviously, guys, if you're just tuning in, I'm not at the radio station today. I took today off from the radio because I knew I'd be up late with the Super Bowl and everything else. So I'm here in my home studio. On the radio today, there's a best of. And if you don't watch me other than on during the week, on the weekends, I live stream from my studio here all the time and have a show just like this on the weekends, pretty much every weekend. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Jay from Jersey.
Oh, hey, Jay.
Wow, this is real interesting.
What?
How an old barber, the old Oreo Uncle Tom, gonna speak about the Black National Anthem, and then you got a white racist gonna speak about the Black National Anthem.
Uh-huh.
The only thing I'm gonna say is 1812. And Barbara's too dumb to know what.
Well, tell us about 1812.
And you know.
Tell us about 1812.
I'm only going to go into what I want to speak. 1812.
What about it?
I wonder how free black people were in 1812. What do you think? Do you think they were free?
It
depends.
They were walking
not
around
like
most.
White people.
No.
They weren't, were they?
No.
They were slaves and being beaten, killed, right?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily, but they were certainly slaves.
Think they want to celebrate that?
They're not.
Why? Why would they?
The Star Spangled Banner, our national anthem. What do you think that song's about?
Listen, I know what the song's about.
What's it about to you?
The period of time that it was written.
The song is not about
the song. It was written.
The song is not about the period of time that it was written. It's about our flag. The Star Spangled Banner, our flag.
Flag that flew over for white people, not for blacks.
Jay, listen. Let's try to be civil here, okay? And serious.
I am being civil. You're just deliberately trying to ignore the real situation.
You are correct.
You to even speak about how bad the song was. She sung it terrible last night. I got to admit that.
Okay, well, we agree on
something.
Say
that we shouldn't even have it. We shouldn't even have it.
No.
We're not
you can have a song, but you don't. There's only one national anthem. Now, the thing about the Star Spangled Banner, you are correct. In 1812, most every black person in America was a slave. Pretty much every black, like 99% of blacks in America, maybe more, were slaves. However,
100%.
No, there were freedmen. There were free black people. Not very many. There were not many.
You might have been free, but you weren't treated like you were free, so you weren't free.
Well, you know what? Women couldn't even vote until 1920. Black men could vote before women, white women. But back to the flag. While you are correct in saying that in 1812, which is, the War of 1812 is when the Francis Scott Key wrote that poem, that blacks were enslaved. However, in the 1860s, during the Democrat insurrection against the federal government, which is known as the American Civil War, the Union Army that fought and many died to free slaves were flying that same flag against the Democrat Confederate flag, okay? So that flag freed blacks.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
That flag freed blacks.
It's just the point.
Well, why do you focus on the negative as opposed to the
being a white man? Being a white man, you don't understand.
Hold on.
You can't understand.
That flag.
You can't understand.
That flag freed the slaves.
That flag did not free the slaves because even when they were freed, they weren't free. I couldn't drink behind the same place that you
couldn't drink. You weren't even alive.
I'm talking. You know what I mean. Okay, let me just put it your way so you'll feel comfortable. A white man and a black man couldn't drink from the same water fountain, come into the same places,
That's
beaten,
not true.
dragged, and killed.
That's not true. That's
down.
only in certain. Excuse me. Slow down, Jay. Slow down. That was true in areas that were controlled by Democrats. You are correct. The segregation was in the Democrat-controlled areas. You are correct about that. But that's only in Democrat-controlled areas. That was not everywhere.
That was the whole United States.
First off, they didn't have drinking fountains until
Listen,
much later. You're talking about Jim Crow. You're talking about drinking. By the way, I choose not to use any drinking fountains. They're not sanitary.
I would put my mouth to a drinking fountain either. So that
the segregated drinking fountains were in the South in the Democrat-controlled areas, not in the North in the Republican areas.
You really think just because you came up north that you got treated like you were equal?
Black.
See, that's where
who got treated equal? Black men could vote decades before. Excuse me. Black men could vote decades before white women. In fact, over 50 years, almost 60 years, 50 years, black men. 50 years plus, black men had the vote over 50 years before white women. So why don't I hear white women griping all the time that they didn't have the right to vote until 1920?
You know what white women are complaining about?
It wasn't
now?
Just white women, it was all women. Women could not vote. Excuse me.
Women do with their bodies.
At the end of the Civil War, black men had the right to vote, right? Black men had the vote. White women and black women and Asian women, no woman had the vote until 1920. So were women free? Were women free before 1920? I would say you could make a very good case that they weren't. So why don't I hear women griping that they didn't have freedom until 1920?
Because you know why? White women weren't being
It wasn't just
killed.
white women. It was black women, too.
Because women, period. White women weren't being killed. Black women and black people were. Don't you know the difference? Okay, listen to this. You said that Swami and President,
Trump.
45, came out with Swami yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you do whatever Trump said to do.
Correct.
If he got the vice president. That's something you will never have to worry about. If you think that Trump would ever put a black colored person as his vice president and have to deal with him, that's just something for
What
the
are you
cameras.
talking about?
He would never do that. So you don't have to worry about it. You said you don't trust him, Swami. You ain't got to worry about it because Trump's just doing this for photo ops.
When Trump came out on stage after Ramaswamy came out, he brought 3 men up there with him. Okay,
photo ops.
And one of them was white and 2 were not. He had Ramaswamy, Tim Scott, and then that governor whose name I always forget from North Dakota. So he brings 3 men up. 2 of them are not white, but he's still a racist to you.
Those are photo ops. He would never put that black man with him as a vice president. Are
what
you
makes
crazy?
You say that? I think you're projecting.
You don't like him, but you do whatever Trump would say.
You are
He
projecting.
would never put him behind him. He would never put him. Trump's so racist. He would never.
So what happens if he picked? What happens if he picked Ben Carson? Would you apologize?
Oh, please, that Uncle Ben.
Oh, so that doesn't count. So if he picked Ben Carson, that wouldn't count?
I can't stand that man. He would never do it.
Ben Carson is a brilliant. Hold on a second.
Ops. He don't like
you
that
said
to black people.
So you said that he would never pick a black person to be his vice president.
Never.
If he picked Ben Carson, you would say that doesn't count. You just told me.
Doesn't count. He would never do it.
But he's black.
He would never do it. He would never do it.
But no. But you said if he did, it doesn't count. What does that mean?
That would be brown would stand with him.
Hold on a second.
No.
Why would Ben Carson not be considered black by you?
He would never put anyone of color with him.
What if he picked Tim Scott from South Carolina?
Why would he do that? You tell me, why would he do that?
He likes him. I don't know. I don't know who he's going to pick.
No. He likes anybody who praised him. He's got an ego as big as the world. That's his problem. He would never put someone of color with him.
Why do you think? Let me ask you this, Jay. Why do you think Trump wants to be president again?
Because of his ego.
Not
Look
because
how
he
many
wants to
people-
say,
look
not
how
because
many
he wants to
people-
protect us, like at our southern border. Why do you think?
Listen,
Okay,
let me explain something to you about
Yeah.
the southern border.
Uh,
That was the worst. We have the worst problem ever with the southern border.
yeah, because of Biden.
I cannot. Well, I'm going to agree with you there.
Okay, so why is
Yeah.
why is Biden running for
But I
president?
would
Why does
never
Biden
vote
want to
for
be
Trump,
president
even
again?
though Biden messed a lot up with that southern border.
Why
I
do you
still
think
would not
Biden?
put Trump in,
Okay,
in
I don't
back
care what
in-
you want.
No.
Why
no.
do you think Biden wants to be president again? What's his driving force? Biden to be president.
Well, right now, anything got to be better than Trump.
I didn't ask you that. Why? And why does Biden personally want to be reelected? Do you think?
Because everybody runs back to back. Every president did. Your president did it, and he lost.
No. That's not why he's
But
running.
y'all
He's run,
can't
the
seem
reason.
to face it.
The reason that Biden's running for reelection is because he's a thief. He's corrupt, and that's how he makes his money
Well,
by
if he's a
taking
thief,
bribes.
How come, then why is President Trump on going through all these things because of the situations where he was a thief?
America. To
He was
save
a thief
America.
all the way through stealing money.
No. All
telling
right, I
banks-
appreciate the call, Jay. President, if you remember, I have over here on my hat rack somewhere the Trump Save America hats. Remember when Trump was first running for re-election this time, the Save America hats, and President Trump was, I don't know, should I do Save America or Make America Great Again? And he decided to stick with Make America Great Again for this campaign too. And in his last campaign, Save America, President Trump is running to be president again to save America. Okay, Joe Biden is running to steal from America and enrich himself and his low-life family. Big difference here. So, and Jay from that just called in, that's what the Black National Anthem's all about right there, racial division and anger. Now, the Defense Secretary, Lloyd Austin, he's in a critical care unit. Again, he's back in the hospital. I mean, what enough of this guy? I mean, when are they gonna go to him and say that's it? I mean, get rid of him and bring somebody else in. My goodness, this guy. This country is being brought into wars that we have no business even being connected to because of this senile old coot Joe Biden and his greed. And the defense secretary is in the hospital constantly. I mean, what is? Hey, listen, he's the dumbest guy I've ever seen to be the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. But what kind of message is this sending when we have no defense secretary who's in the hospital nonstop? The attorney general, a member of Biden's cabinet, says he's too mentally incompetent to be prosecuted for his crimes of stealing classified documents and keeping them in his garage. I mean, what kind of situation are we in right now? And, Tucker Carlson, you may have heard this over the weekend. Tucker Carlson did not only interview Putin, which I thought was a fantastic interview, and the media are doing everything they can do to act like it didn't happen. But did you see who else he talked to? And I don't know if he did the interviews. We haven't got a confirmation on this. But Tucker Carlson met with Tara Reid, who is in Russia, in hiding, who was sexually assaulted, allegedly, according to her, by Joe Biden. And Tucker also met with Snowden. So I hope he did interviews with him. And, the thing about Tucker Carlson with Snowden and Tara Reid, oh my goodness. I mean, this guy is, he is really taking chances. He's really taking chances. I mean, he could find himself in prison by this corrupt administration. And I know a lot of people say, well, wait a minute, he's too high profile. They've arrested President Trump multiple times now and have a mugshot of him. So if they can arrest President Trump, what would stop them from doing the same to Tucker Carlson by calling him a traitor, which is what they're doing now because he talked to Putin. Now he talks to Tara Reid, he talks to Snowden. And that's a frightening thought for the deep state. Now, those of you that are just joining, yes, I'm at my studio at home. There's a best of show running on the radio this morning. I took today off the radio because I knew I'd be up late for the Super Bowl last night, and I would have gotten just a couple hours of sleep and then had to get up and do show prep to be on the radio and make the drive there, and I just knew I wouldn't really be up to it. And the Monday after the Super Bowls, so many people are off work. It's a tough day on a normal day. And so I said, you know what, run a best of show. And because it's Super Bowl Monday. So that on the radio right now, there's a best of show running while I'm live streaming here. And I wasn't sure I was going to do that until I got off the air Friday. And Friday afternoon, I decided, I called Steve, I said, why don't we just take off the day after the Super Bowl? And Steve said, fine. Plus, I need some time off, even though I'm still here, I'm still streaming. I go 7 days a week, and I love what I do and everything, but, sometimes you need you got to rest the body a little bit and not push yourself too hard. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. My name is Brian Craig, and I live stream every day of the week. And anytime I live stream, either from this studio or from the radio station, I take live calls. If you are watching live, the number is pinned to the top of the chat to call in toll-free no matter where you are watching. It's 888-465-2631. And if you'd like to support my content, go to mypillow.com, use my promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, and you get huge savings and free shipping site-wide. Plus, you get the special deal. Now, this is a great deal, just $29.98, 50% off the 6-piece MyPillow towel set. And I have these towels. They are just incredible towels. We have a set of the white ones, and we have the blue ones. And the blue is what I dried off with today. And these towels, you hear Mike Lindell, he says, towels that actually work. What a concept. These towels work. They're unbelievable. One day I was here on a weekend about to do a live stream right here, and I spilled my coffee in the hallway right outside the studio. And I grabbed the first thing I could see before I had coffee everywhere, and I grabbed the white MyPillow towel. I threw it down it was a big, huge cup of coffee. It absorbed all of the coffee. I just put it there. It was like Bounty paper towel. Picked it up. The floor was dry, and the coffee was all absorbed by the towel. And you know what? It wasn't dripping out of the towel. It actually was holding it. And I walked it all the way to our laundry room, which is in the garage. It did not drip once on the floor throughout the entire house. And I was a little concerned because it was the white towel. I washed, I dried it. And it all came out, too, in the wash. So it's pretty amazing. But anyway, the MyPillow towel set, 50% off and free shipping with my promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And remember, it's free shipping on all items at mypillow.com, not just the ones I talk about. And, of course, when you use my promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, you're supporting my channel, all my content, my podcast, my channel, the radio show, everything. And, of course, the great Mike Lindell at the same time. Promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, sorry about that. You can call back, 1-888-465-2631. A toll-free call no matter where you are calling from. Yeah, and here it is again. This is what I started with this morning at the top of the stream. I'll just do a little recap here. This is President Trump at Mar-A-Lago walking in with Vivek. Melania is there, Vivek's wife. And I just saw this video, and it just looked like he was walking in, the president and first lady walking in with the vice president and the second lady. And do you think that he will pick Ramaswamy to be his vice president? I hope not, but if he does, we'll have to stick with him. Now, this one here, so much has been going on. The White House, since this report came out, let me pull this up. Hold on, guys. I'll have to pull this up. Since this report came out last week that Biden, from the special counsel, is guilty of taking classified documents to his home, it's a crime. He was not president. He was vice president. And it's true. What he did was criminal. It was wrong. And that's a crime, but that he's too mentally incompetent to face criminal prosecution. Now, how? And remember, this isn't some Republican committee. This is not some conservative special prosecutor. This isn't like the days of Bill Clinton and Lewinsky, Ken Starr, a Republican. This is Merrick Garland, special counsel. Merrick Garland is one of the most radically leftist people to ever have that job. Remember, he was nominated for the Supreme Court by Barack Obama. So it's his own Department of Justice, a member of his own cabinet, Merrick Garland, who says that he's too mentally incompetent to be prosecuted for his crimes. So how can you be too mentally incompetent for a criminal prosecution for crimes you committed, according to Merrick Garland's Justice Department, but you can still run the country, right? And so what the Democrats decided to do over the weekend was go on TV and lie. This is the co-chair of his campaign. A co-chair of Joe Biden's re-election campaign insisted the commander-in-chief is in it for the long haul. In an interview on Meet the Press, Biden campaign co-chair Mitch Landrieu, the former mayor of New Orleans, defended Biden. Okay, and now Kristen Welker here, I'm going to play this. And when I just want to give you a little bit about her. Kristen Welker here, kind of pause in a weird place there. She is very, very connected to Barack Obama. When Barack Obama was president, she and her parents spent the night at the White House on Christmas Eve and woke up Christmas morning and celebrated Christmas morning in the White House. Her Kristen Welker here, the host of Meet the Press, and her parents with Barack Obama, Michelle, and their children. So think about how connected she is, that Obama had her and her family at the White House Christmas morning celebrating Christmas with his little children at the time. So she's very connected. So listen to this. They're talking about Biden.
But Americans don't agree with what you're saying. In fact, our NBC News poll found that 76% of voters are concerned about whether the president has the necessary mental and physical health to be president for a second term. What is the plan to convince voters otherwise?
Well, let's just say two things. This election is going to be about two men, but really two different visions for the country. President Trump just the other night.
By the way, what is the Biden vision of America? We know what Trump's vision is, right? We have borders, America first, right? What's Biden's vision? Get rich? I don't know.
Confused what day of the week it was. He has confused who the leader of North Korea and China are. He's confused the leaders of Hungary and Turkey. By the way, Speaker Mike Johnson was on the other day, and he confused Iraq and Iran. And, of course, President Trump doesn't know the difference between Nancy Pelosi and Nikki Haley.
Okay. See, now this is their talking point. You know, what they confuse is misspeaking with cognitive decline, okay? And people misspeak and mix up names all the time. Biden, you see it. And what the report says is he couldn't even remember when his son died. And his whole life revolves around the passing of Beau Biden. Misspeaking is different than cognitive decline. I mean, look at Air Force One. They've had to bring in those baby steps because he can't even walk down the main steps.
Oh, by the way, last night President Trump saw fit to basically dump on Nikki Haley's husband, who is serving in the military right now because he hasn't around. That's what he continues to do.
Okay, now this is another thing they're talking about. President Trump was not dumping on Nikki Haley's husband. Everybody knows what he was saying. He was talking about Nikki Haley having extramarital affairs and screwing around behind her husband's back. And President Trump was asking the question, why do we not ever see this guy doesn't ever get leave? I know he's deployed right now, but they get leave, and he's never with her. He hasn't been with her at all in this campaign, probably because he's pissed off at her because she screwed around on him multiple times that we know of. And now it's public. How embarrassing it is for her husband. So President Trump wasn't talking about her husband, Nikki Haley. He wasn't disparaging Nikki Haley's husband. he was talking about Nikki Haley, okay, who had sex with, according to those depositions, at least 2 men that she wasn't married to, in the family car, and also she had sex in her government office when she was in the state house.
So the people of America are going to have to make a choice. Are they for a guy like Joe Biden, who wakes up every day thinking about the people of America, thinking...
Now, well, who the hell believes that? That Joe Biden wakes up every day thinking about the people of America? Joe Biden wakes up every day wondering where the hell he is. Why am I here? Am I spending the night? You know, what am I doing here? That's the first, and if he realizes where he is and what office he's holding, what Joe Biden wakes up thinking about is, how can I make more money for my family today off of selling my office like I've done my entire life?
Every day thinking about the people of America, thinking about how to lift people up. Or are they going to be for Donald Trump, who has already said, and you can believe him when he says this, even though when his lips are moving, he's usually lying, that he is going to be engaged in revenge and taking us backwards? I think...
Okay, now, of course, revenge. You know, here you have a weaponized government, Lawfare. You see what they're doing. You see these stories that came out about not just them going after President Trump with these lawfare prosecutions, both criminally and civilly, but looking into the bank transactions of MAGA people that were in Washington. Come on, give me a break. And when he says revenge, what he means is justice. And don't you think? I mean, who thinks that these lawfare people should not be investigated? These people involved in this lawfare are criminals. They should be investigated. They should be prosecuted and convicted. Fani Willis, Merrick Garland, the whole crew, okay? Letitia, they should all be investigated, charged, arrested, and brought to trial and convicted, okay? Because they are criminals. He doesn't, but the Democrats don't want that. They call that looking back and living in the past. So we have the most popular candidate ever to run for president. There's never been a president this popular. There's never been a presidential candidate as popular as Trump's. Never happened before. Not like this. You know, I mean, you got to think he's coming back after a 4-year absence, more popular than ever. So he's the most popular person to ever run for the office. And they have how many court cases against him? You know, President Trump's going to be in court this morning here in Florida in St. Lucie County, Fort Pierce, Florida, in the documents case, the classified documents case. He's going to make an appearance in the court today at 9:30. Okay? So you're telling me that it's looking back or revenge by prosecuting these criminals? This is crazy.
I think the choice is clear. You know what Joe Biden remembers? He remembers how to build 46,000 infrastructure projects. He remembers how to build one of the strongest economies in the world.
Really? The economy, the strong, you know, infrastructure projects. That means giving money to the donors. Can someone tell me, give me a call or let me know in the comments or the live chat, a Biden infrastructure project in your neighborhood where you're at? I don't see any Biden infrastructure projects going on. He's talking about donor payoffs. And by the way, is this guy, he's one of the co-chairs of Biden's reelection campaign, this baldy guy here, Kojak. Or is it Lex Luthor? I don't know. Which does he look more like, Lex Luthor or Kojak? When he talks about 46,000 infrastructure projects, is he talking about infrastructure projects in Ukraine where we build roads and such over there? I don't know.
He remembers how to make sure that the unemployment rate stays as low as it has for 50 years and to create 800,000 jobs. And that is why, let me just finish, that is why the president says, watch me. And the president has demonstrated an incredible amount of accomplishment in a few short years that outpace anything that Donald Trump has ever done, including creating 15 million jobs.
People are watching him, and again, 76% of them have those concerns, and so do some of his donors. This is what the Washington Post is saying. Quote, top Biden donors were fielding calls and text messages from anxious Democrats, asking if other Democrats still had time to jump into the presidential race. When is Gavin getting in? Or how about Whitmer or Shapiro? Buzzed around Democratic circles over the last 24 hours.
Okay, now this is interesting because this is the Washington Post. And you see it, right? Washington Post, hair on fire. I guess that's a reference to line. Democrat worries grow over claims about Biden's memory lapses. Top Biden donors were fielding calls and text messages from anxious Democrats asking if other Democrats still had time to jump into the presidential race. When is Gavin getting in, or how about Whitmer or Shapiro? Buzzed around Democrat circles. Okay, now this is an interesting thing here because it's in the Washington Post, and this is significant for a couple of reasons. By the way, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. You'll enjoy my channel. This is where MAGA comes to talk. The Washington Post, this is a Democrat paper. This is not the New York Post. This isn't the Washington Times or the Washington Examiner. This is not just a Democrat liberal paper, the Washington Post. It's a proudly Democrat liberal paper, the paper of Woodward and Bernstein that brought down Nixon. The Washington Post is also an arm of the deep state. Remember, Woodward and Bernstein did not bring Nixon down. The deep state did. They did it using the Washington Post and Woodward and Bernstein. So here we have the deep state liberal paper saying this. And Welker here, as I pointed out, her close ties to the Obama family. So this is a really an amazing thing that's going on. The people that are bringing down Biden right now, okay, are the deep state and the Democrats. Christian Welker, Obama, deep state, Washington Post, Democrats, Washington Post. This isn't Republicans. These are Democrats saying, when's Gavin? Can he get out?
How do you respond to Democrats who say they want to see a change at the top of the ticket?
I'm in the process of doing it right now and demonstrating that the president's accomplishment have really been second to none. And Joe Biden's going to get up every day. The one thing Joe Biden is never going to do is count on this. He is never, ever going to quit, because that's not what he's done his entire life, notwithstanding the fact that, by the way, he lost another child early in his life, and he got up and he went to work. And then he had difficulty with his other son, and he got up and he went to work, and he's going to keep doing that as we move the country forward.
Very quickly, was it a mistake for him not to do the Super Bowl interview, to miss talking to as many as 60 million people?
No, I don't think so. I think people really want to watch the Super Bowl tonight and think about football. They don't want to hear from a politician.
Are you kidding me? It's an American tradition for the American president to do the Super Bowl interview. And since when does a president turn down talking to the largest audience they'll ever have access to, the Super Bowl audience? When? Just this time. And why is that? It's because Biden lost it at the press conference. After that report came out, he lost his mind. You know, that press conference itself is enough reason to say that he's unfit for office. Now, I'm going to take a quick break because I'm going to go get myself a cup of coffee here. And I definitely need it today. Didn't get a lot of sleep. So hang in there, guys. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Talk amongst yourselves in the chat. All right, I'm back, guys. Thanks for hanging in there. Well, I got another cup of coffee. If you're just tuning in and joining the stream, obviously I'm not at the radio station today. I took today off the radio because I knew I'd be up late last night for the football game, for the Super Bowl, and I barely made it here on time, and I'm in my studio in my home, okay? Because I was talking about it earlier. I got up really early this morning, actually, to do my show prep, and I finished my show prep really early, and I was so tired, I laid down on the couch and went back to sleep and woke up barely in enough time to be here for the stream. So that's why I'm here at home today, because I still do believe that it should be kind of a Super Bowl Monday should be kind of a federal holiday. It really should. I mean, come on. Give me a break. And when I went out to get my coffee, it kind of felt like Sunday morning, didn't it? Does it to you guys as well? How many people call in sick today? So the White House, as they say, they decided to go out and lie on the Sunday shows this weekend about Biden's mental fitness and everything else. But that's not the only thing they're lying about. The border issue is just the biggest issue of this election, and it's a good thing that it is. And if you look at any of the coverage in the primary states, no matter where they are, when they are talking to voters and they ask voters to list their top priorities this election cycle, it's always the border. And it doesn't matter what group you're in, what state you're in, it's the border. And the border is connected to the economy. We were talking earlier about the Black National Anthem and how divisive it is. And, Jay from Jersey called up and he's talking about slavery and everything. And, what's going on at the southern border is a modern day slave passage. The people that are being trafficked here by the Biden regime, and it is human trafficking. There's slaves, different types of slaves. Some of it's labor slavery, some of it's sex slavery, which is labor too. But it's a slave passage, and there will come a time in the future. It may be 100 years from now, 150 years from now. It may be 50 days from now, but people will start to identify what is going on at the southern border and do the comparison that I've been doing for quite some time, that this is a slave passage just like the one from Africa with African slaves. This is just Latin American slaves. Instead of African slaves, they've got Latin American slaves now. And that's the way it is. And the Democrats are bringing this to you. If you look at all the things that the leftists believe that America should be apologizing for all the time, right? It's all things brought to you by Democrats. Everything. Every national shame, the internment of Japanese, slavery, Jim Crow. By the way, I misspoke. It's not the internment of Japanese. The Democrat internment of Americans of Japanese descent, because those that were put in the internment camps were American citizens of Japanese descent. You look at the Tuskegee experiments. You look at all these things that Democrats constantly say that we all have to be held accountable for. They were all brought to you by Democrats. And now this thing at the southern border with Mayorkas, for him to go on Meet the Press over the weekend and with this absurd talking point is insane. Let me turn him up. Mayorkas
has not been fixed for 30 years.
Okay, hold on. This is one of the things, the broken immigration system
has not been fixed for 30 years. A bipartisan group of senators have now presented us with the tools and resources we need, bipartisan group, and yet Congress killed it before even reading it.
No doubt there is gridlock on Congress, but do you bear responsibility for what is happening at the border, what the president himself has called a crisis?
It certainly is a crisis, and we don't bear responsibility for a broken system, and we're doing a tremendous amount within that broken system. But fundamentally, Congress is the only one who can fix it.
Okay. Now, this thing here about by the way, his chin is sweating. Is he nervous? I don't know. Okay, he said this broken system, and it's been broken for 30 years. There has never been a point in American history that we have not had a problem with the Mexican-U.S. border, okay? It's always been a problem. This is not new. The only time that the border in the last 30 years, since he goes to 30 years, we won't go back to the beginning of time here, but the only time that border was not a problem is when Trump was in office in his first term, right? We had Remain in Mexico. He shut it down. And not only that, he shut down the drug trafficking. He shut down the sex trafficking, the labor slavery passage that they have going on. And they have this talking point that they're always talking about, that it's a broken system that's got to be fixed. It's not broken. There's nothing broken about our immigration system. They just don't use it. They've just torn it down. I mean, if you get a brand new car and you go outside with a sledgehammer and you destroy the car, I guess that brand new car is broken. But you weren't given a broken car. You brought home from the dealership a brand new car. And President Trump, when the Biden regime came into office, they just had a little bit of wall that was left to plug up. The steel was laying there. They vowed not to finish the wall and got rid of the steel, okay? We had Remain in Mexico. They tore that down too. So the system's not broken. And all they have are talking points, tired old talking points. And, you know, the thing is about the Democrats, and this is a fascinating thing. They are getting whooped in all the polls. Trump is more popular than he ever has been, okay? And so much of it, maybe the majority of it, is because of the border. And Democrats in the past, see, this Democrat Party we're dealing with is a whole new Democrat Party. In the past 30 or 40 years, you know, since I've been around following these things, when the Democrats are losing, when they pivot and change their positions on things. This time they're not. I'll give you an example. This is the most obvious example of this. When Bill Clinton was running for re-election after his first term, he wasn't popular. Newt Gingrich had just had the contract for America, which was in the midterms in Trump's first term. The Republicans, for the first time, I think it was it 30 years or 40 years at the time? I can't remember if it was 30 or 40 years. But it was the first time in either 30 or 40 years that the Republicans controlled both the House and the Senate at the same time. It was at least 30, maybe 40 years. It was a big deal. And Bill Clinton was now running for re-election. And Newt Gingrich and the Republican platform, he had the contract for America, was incredibly popular at the time. And when Newt Gingrich first became speaker, unlike this guy we got now he had a larger majority, but unlike this guy we got now, Mike Johnson, he didn't mess around. The day that the new Congress was sworn in and Newt Gingrich was speaker, they worked all night long after midnight passing the Republican platform from the Contract for America. It was absolutely amazing that they did that. They don't do that now. They do nothing. Mayorkas should have been impeached 5 times already, just like Biden should have been impeached 5 times or more already. You know, so what Bill Clinton did in re-election was take the very popular Republican ideas and make them his own. And Dick Morris, who's an advisor to President Trump now, was his campaign manager, Bill Clinton, at the time. And Dick Morris called this triangulation, which was really confusing the public. And I give you the one big example that I can recall was welfare reform. Part of Newt Gingrich and the Republican Party platform that led them to retaking both houses of Congress was that welfare to work. The Democrats were opposed to welfare to work, and they lost. So all of a sudden, Bill Clinton was supporting welfare to work and other things too. That's the big one that I remember offhand. So the reason I share that with you is because Bill Clinton recognized that they were going to lose everywhere. He was going to lose re-election, and Democrats were going to get creamed if they kept opposing these very popular Republican Party ideas, like the idea that if you're on welfare, you should be doing something, unless you're disabled, to try to get to work, the welfare to work. And now here we are in this election cycle, and the Democrats are losing big time to someone, Donald Trump, that is more popular than any man who has run for president has ever been. They know that the primary issue of his popularity, there's many issues, but the main issue of President Trump's popularity right now that has him walking into his reelection is the southern border. And what do? They quadruple down on their open border policies. And so far as a bipartisan, Democrats are always talking about bipartisan bills, when they have something. Bipartisan means they get one Republican to go along with them. Then all of a sudden it's bipartisan. Now, I know they got more than one in the Senate on this immigration nonsense that they're trying to push, but they get one traitorous or 5 in this instance, Republican, and all of a sudden it's bipartisan. And if you don't agree with them, you're going against the bipartisan system. So, this is just a bunch of nonsense. So now, they decided to spend the weekend lying about Biden's cognitive decline. Here you've got Jen Psaki on Meet the Press. This was just devastating over the weekend. When they, what they're doing? The Democrats, the White House came together and decided that they were going to spend the weekend on the Sunday shows lying to the American people about Biden's cognitive decline. Now, the problem they have with this is a couple of problems. Everyone knows it. It's too obvious. The problems with Biden aren't misspeaking, right? Everyone who's a public speaker will misspeak, except Ramaswamy. I haven't heard Ramaswamy misspeak yet. But if you speak enough publicly, I misspeak all the time. Like, for example, President Trump's going to court today in Fort Pierce in St. Lucie County. I was talking about that the other day and said Indian River County instead of St. Lucie County. Am I suffering from cognitive decline, or did I misspeak? I misspoke. That happens all the time, right? So they made this decision to go on the Sunday shows and lie about the cognitive decline of Biden. And the couple problems they have with this. One, the Sunday shows are no longer relevant. They're relevant to the D.C. insiders. And it really shows you how inside this Washington bubble is, that they think going on Meet the Press is going to shape public opinion, because all of them live by Meet the Press. And they missed the opportunity. If he's not suffering from cognitive decline, do the Super Bowl interview that he turned down. And, he would have done the Super Bowl interview with a friendly reporter, and they would have been trying to make him look. So even doing a friendly interview like they could have done on the Super Bowl, they didn't do. So they decided to go on or have Biden go on the Sunday shows. They didn't do that. They decided to send Mayorkas and Jen Psaki out there and lie.
We got this extraordinary statement, fundraising email from the First Lady, basically blasting the special counsel report. What are your sources telling you about that and the potential shift in strategy?
See, so now how does it make it look as if he's not in cognitive decline, Biden, if he has his wife, not him, out there taking the lead, attacking the people that released this report? And it's so important to understand that, and you notice these clips are all from left-wing, Obama-controlled Meet the Press I'm playing today. So he's lost Meet the Press. He's lost the Democrats behind Meet the Press. The report about his cognitive decline, it didn't just say about that he had cognitive decline. It said he was guilty of illegally taking classified documents and stuffing them in his garage. He was guilty of that, but that he's not mentally competent for the prosecution of his crimes. But this was put out by one of his own cabinet officials, Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States. So, this is insanity that's going on here.
Well, she said, among other things in that statement, she said that this Robert Hur, the special counsel, was trying to score political points, said you don't measure the death of your son in years, you measure it in grief. I spoke to a series of officials, including at the campaign, a senior campaign advisor saying, basically...
Look at these talking points. He couldn't remember when his whole life revolves around the tragic and sad passing of his son, Beau. And he couldn't remember when Beau died. So, I've had... like many people, grandparents die. I haven't lost my parents, thankfully so, but I did lose a stepfather, and I can remember when my stepfather and my grandparents died. And even though I was young, I can tell you the years because I can remember what was going on at the time, right? And he couldn't even do that. But here, what did he say? You don't measure, what did he say? You measure not in years, but in grief. What did he say? They got a talking point on this, why he couldn't remember the year that Beau passed?
Spoke to a series of officials, including at the campaign, a senior campaign advisor saying, basically the thinking behind this was if the special counsel is going to be attacking our son and using it as a political weapon, then she's going to have something to say about it, which is exactly why she spoke out. And a person who's close to the First Lady told me that she was directly involved in the crafting of this fundraising email. Jen, you know well, it's not always the case that it's like that. She said, among other things, that she wanted to speak out in real American mom terms to say that this wasn't just inaccurate, that it was inhumane. And then she also wanted to make another argument that the First Lady did there. She said that Americans benefit from each of the president's 81 years. His experience, his expertise is what's allowed him to get things done quickly about the strategy going.
But he can't do the interview himself. Yeah. Let's fast forward here and get to Jen Psaki. Okay. Now Jen, she's the one I want to hear from. And notice, what Jen Psaki is wearing. This is to make her look saintly and honest on television. She's wearing virgin white.
The gaffes are baked in. It's who Joe Biden is. He's the only one who can get out and fix this. And yet here we are on Super Bowl Sunday for a second year in a row. He declined to do the Super Bowl interview. Was that a mistake, the chance to not see 60 million viewers? And what do you make of what Peter's saying, this shift in strategy?
Well, look, I think it's a close call if you're sitting in the White House because, frankly, the media environment has massively changed since that Tim Russert clip of him hosting Meet the Press from the Super Bowl. That just would never happen today. Yeah. They know that.
Maybe next year we'll be at the Super Bowl.
Maybe. If you're them, you're calculating. First of all, they were asked to cut it down to 3 minutes. Yeah. Any smart reporter, which CBS has plenty, would have asked him about things like Gaza and events in the world, and people are just trying to have chicken wings at this point.
Oh, really? Oh, people aren't interested. When does a politician turn down talking to 60 million plus American people in an election year?
So I will say, just to add to Peter's point, I mean, if you're sitting in the White House and on the campaign right now, you're absolutely banging your head against the wall at the way that the Thursday report has been covered, given all of the things that have happened this week.
The Thursday report? See, they're calling it the Thursday report so it'll be forgotten. We can call it that. It's a criminal and cognitive report. And this thing about asking these questions, they're too personal. When someone is suffering from cognitive decline and things like this, they ask them questions that anyone would remember like the back of their hand. And one of them is, when did your son pass? If you can't remember that, who's the president of the United States is another one they ask. I'd like to know what his answer was to that one.
Including, and I know you asked Chris Christie about this, the fact that Donald Trump yesterday suggested that Vladimir Putin should have free rein in attacking NATO allies. Yeah. And what do we see when we wake up this morning? Wall-to-wall coverage of whether a guy who's 4 years older than his opponent is too old to be president.
Yeah, okay. And we are going to get to NATO.
Now, the thing about NATO that she brought up here, a couple things. President Trump did not say that it was okay for Russia to attack NATO allies. He said they don't pay their way. We pay for everything. And by the way, the cemeteries in Europe are filled with enough payment for NATO forever. All the American lives we lost in the Second World War. But why should we defend them if they're not paying their own way? And he didn't say Russia can attack. He says if they're not paying their own way and they get attacked by Russia, why should we intervene? If they don't think, if these countries, what President Trump is saying, if these European countries don't think enough of their own security to pay for their own national security, why should we pay for it in both money and loss of American lives, right? He didn't. But you notice how they've changed that into he's given the go-ahead for Russia, for Putin to invade our NATO allied nations. He didn't say that, and everybody knows that.
Oh,
go ahead. Part of the job to.
All right, let's see if Jen Psaki comes back, because I don't even know who this guy is. Let's see, has she come back? Blah blah blah. Okay, now Jen Psaki. Okay, let's see what Jen Psaki. We'll pivot back. We'll circle back. Let's circle back to Psaki.
Circles about changing the top of the ticket. What is in the Washington Post? What I read effectively.
Well, first of all, look, I was in the Biden world for about a year and a half in an official basis. And if every time there was an anonymous person.
Isn't that interesting? I was there for a year and a half on an official basis. So now is this an unofficial basis she's in? What do you guys think? Right? Yeah, exactly.
And in the Washington Post or any outlet suggesting that they wanted someone change it at the top of the ticket, if they listened to that every time, they'd be like in the fetal position under their desks.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, right.
I don't actually hear a lot of people saying that they think that's a reality of what may happen. There's always speculation of like looking for the magical unicorn of somebody who has 50 years of foreign policy experience who's also 30.
See, I don't agree that Biden has 50 years of foreign policy experience. I believe Biden has 50 years of selling favors and his public office. He has experience, 50 years of it, of political corruption, not 50 years of foreign policy experience or anything else. 50 years of criminal experience.
37 years old and can like run across the field at the Super Bowl to campaign for president. That doesn't exist. What the Biden campaign needs right now is for people to realize that like he is going to be the nominee. This is the choice.
Yeah, Peter.
Wow. You know, this is amazing because this report, and you got to wonder what's going on here. This report about Biden and this entire Meet the Press, which was about that report. This is the left, but it's also the deep state, right? Washington Post, anything. So why are there's a big this debate is not in conservative circles. This is an inside debate inside deep state liberal Democrat circles. Kristen Welker, the hostess here of Meet the Press, as I pointed out with her Obama connections, she is a Democrat Party establishment hack, okay? So why are they doing this? Why is there a divide in the Democrat Party? You know, about Biden. Why are they, this report was put out by the deep state and the Democrats through Merrick Garland's Justice Department. Why are the Democrats and the deep state discrediting Biden to such a degree? And the thing you got to wonder is because when they do this, it helps elevate Trump even more. By the way, if you'd like to call in, please do. The lines are open, even though I'm not at the radio station today. The call in number is pinned to the top of the chat. If you're watching live, it is toll-free no matter where you are watching from. If you're watching live, you can give me a call, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. See, this divide inside the Democrat Party is helping Trump, which I'm happy about. I know you guys are happy about. We want to help Trump because helping Trump helps this great country of ours. But plugging somebody else in, no matter who it is not going to work. First of all, if they made a move to do this at the convention, they're going to have the Bidens they got to deal with, because the Bidens are fighting this every step of the way. And they're not talking about just bypassing and stepping over the Bidens. They're talking about stepping over the sitting vice president, Camala Harris, who's the first female non-white person to hold that office. Okay? So the divide, if they actually they're talking about it, it's causing a lot of problems in helping Trump. If they actually make a move to do it, the Democrat Party would be so wounded, they would have no hope of winning. Even if we didn't have someone as popular as President Trump, it'd be dicey for him, okay? But it's impossible. So why are they working so hard promoting and causing this division inside their own party, helping Trump get into office again? It's an interesting thing that the people that have been against Trump since he came down the escalator, the deep state, are now helping him get back in office. What did Joe Biden do that caused this. I don't think that he was supposed to run for re-election. I think that their agreement with the Bidens was for him to do one term, and he didn't agree to that. Which I could, we were talking about this when he was running last time, because he was having cognitive problems then, right? This isn't new. That's why he ran from the basement, because he couldn't get out there. He didn't have the energy, didn't have the cognitive abilities, and he was having all kinds of mental lapses during the basement interviews. It was really bad. Not as bad as now, and if you went back and looked at those clips, it wouldn't look so bad because he's fallen so far now. But I was saying at the time, they made a deal. It's just going to be a one-term deal. But I said once they're in that office, they're always going to run again. No one's going to walk away from that. And here they are. So they're doing it. So he's done something, though, that has just pissed them off beyond imagination. Now, the southern border, of course, is the center of everything. The highest number of apprehensions in U.S. history at the southwest border in the first quarter of 2024. I mean, look at this. 785,422, greater than the individual population of Wyoming, Vermont, and Alaska, which is our biggest state. That's insanity. The number of apprehensions of illegal border crossers along the southwest border in the first quarter of 2024 is the highest in U.S. history. The total, 785,422, greater than the individual populations of Wyoming, Vermont, and Alaska, and nearly the population of North Dakota. And this is just in the first quarter of the year. I mean, this has been going on for 3 years now. After the U.S. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas changed laws established by Congress to facilitate the greatest number of illegal crossings in U.S. history. I mean, this is insane what's going on here. And I know, isn't it tough? I mean, it's amazing. And, what's going to happen in President Trump's second term when he talks about the deportations, the deportations that are going to take place, it's going to be something like we've never seen before. And conventional thinking is it's going to be unpopular. It's not. The media, though, are going to have a lot of sympathetic things going on. They're gonna make all kinds of comparisons to the trains to Auschwitz and everything else. And there's a TV show that I've watched for many years, and I went to watch it over the weekend, and I couldn't get through the first 10 minutes of the episode. Chicago PD. You guys watch Chicago PD? They did an episode. They do a lot of ripped out of the headlines episodes. And Chicago PD this week, they did one on illegals. The cops on the show are in charge of some areas in Chicago where the illegals are being bussed to and dropped off. And they're being harassed by hate crimes from conservatives that have American flags wrapped around them and everything else. And the main stars of the show were talking about political conditions in Venezuela and all this crap, and I just turned it off. I mean, maybe there's some redemption later in the episode, but I couldn't watch this show where Americans are being villainized and they're championing what's going on here. But this will be the largest deportation in the history of the United States, and it's going to be welcomed by the American people. Regardless of what the media say, the numbers of people that are coming here are in numbers greater than anyone really understands. I mean, these are numbers that we can't even put our heads around. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug. How you doing?
Okay, great. I got to laugh. I mean, they call apprehension. These people are just walking across the border like they've been invited in, and there's no apprehension. The apprehensions are maybe the guys who's sneaking in once in a while. The rest is just come walking right in like they're supposed to be coming in there. This is really embarrassing that we have a no border like this, man. I don't know how they didn't impeach Mayorkas. This is, first of all, I was thinking they're going to impeach Mayorkas, and all Biden will do is put somebody else in doing the same exact job. So that's not going to change anything. We got to impeach Biden right away and get him out of there, because they're not going to get him out because of his cognitive ability. The only way we're going to get him out is by impeaching him, and they don't want to do that for some reason. Yeah. I mean, Johnson keeps saying, well, we should let the people decide in the election. No, it's too late, man.
No, listen. Biden has violated his primary duty, which is to protect the borders of this country. And he's violated his oath. And I know they say, well, they won't get the votes. We'll take the votes and let people go. Let's see on the record in the House who's with us and who's against us. Let's get let's let the people that'll vote against impeachment come out of the closet and smoke these fake MAGA people out. If they don't, I know we barely got a majority, and maybe they think they can't get the vote through. So what? Take the vote anyway. Let them go on the record.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. One thing good about it, the American people are saying that who's for with America and who's not with America. That's for sure. The Democrats are trying to just. So I think it's a good thing, but meantime, we're still in this trouble. People walking right in, and it's really sickening. All of a sudden,
and they're not just walking right in. They're retired. They're getting the money every month. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, and now, I was just going to say, now I see all of a sudden there's all these food lines with cars lined up. They had my daughters volunteered to give out food to the Jewish Center on University, right past Samples.
Yeah.
The line was maybe 3 blocks long of cars waiting to get food, man. And this is in America. I mean, people living in, I told you, living in the woods. Meanwhile, they put these people in here, give them credit cards, put them in hotels. Man,
and
really
by the way, they upload new cash to those EBT cards and everything every month. So it's not like a one-time thing. It's like it's every month.
Yeah, that's EBT cards. That's what I was saying. Why are there all these food lines where people lined up with the cards? Don't they have food stamps anymore?
I mean, my goodness,
they don't qualify. I know.
I mean, they should be giving us all EBT cards. Give me an EBT card. I'll take one. They're giving them to the illegals. Why not give them to everybody, right? But this is the thing. The American people, that's really pissing people off, and that's why they're doing so poorly with blacks and Hispanics, even Hispanic immigrants. Immigrants have never been treated so well, getting set up with a free life. I mean, there are people in this audience that are retired, living off fixed Social Security income, far below the amount of money that each illegal is getting every month right now.
Yeah, man, it's really sick. That I don't know why they allowed this to happen, but the Democrats have something up their sleeve, but they don't want to tell us. But they got a reason for this. I guess the only thing I can think of is that they want them all to get voting rights and they'll all vote for Democrats. That's it. That is, I can't figure this out, but this is terrible. And then Congress, man, I hear that the Congress just passed $96,000 million or $96 billion to give to Ukraine. Man, oh man! I mean,
that's right.
What's going on? What the hell is going on in this country? These people, where are they getting the money?
We shouldn't be sending 10 cents to Ukraine at this point. They've gotten enough money. Sure. It should be winding down. I mean, the Congress is useless. This Mike Johnson is, what a disappointment. I don't care if it's 1-seat majority; it's still the majority.
That's right. But then again, you have these four bums who call themselves Republicans that didn't vote to impeach.
That's right.
Mayorkas.
That's right. All right. Well, I appreciate the call, Doug. It's good to hear from you.
Have a go, man.
All right. Take care. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not at the radio station today. This is my home studio, and on the weekends, I typically live stream right here at home from this studio, and as you can hear, take live calls just like I do. I took today off because I was going to be up late last night for the Super Bowl, which I was, and I got so little sleep. I barely made it on time for this stream this morning because I set up the stream, and then I said, well, I got some time. I'm really tired. Let me lay down, and I on the couch. I laid down on the couch and woke up just in time for this. There's no way I would have made it on there. If I would have gone to the radio station today, I would have been like in a daze. Can't do that with 2 hours sleep. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Steven from Wisconsin.
Hey, what's up, Steven in Wisconsin?
Hey, big fan, first-time caller. I just wanted to mention something also about the border situation. The people that are just walking across the border, it's stabbing the people that worked hard to get into our country.
That's right.
They don't just walk in. That's why we have a system the way it is. So, I just can't even imagine what those people feel.
Well, a couple. I got a sneeze coming on, guys, because the air just came on above my head here. I'll try not to sneeze, but it's coming. Hold on. Oh, excuse me, guys. I apologize.
Bless you.
Oh, excuse me. The air conditioner just popped on over my head. A couple things about this and why they're losing traditional liberal votes. One, they're losing a lot of black support because, as you can see with the Super Bowl, with Lift Every Voice, the Black National Anthem, black people that are lifelong Democrats are pissed off about all this money that the illegals are getting because they view that as money they're owed through reparations. Right? Liberal blacks believe all black people should be getting reparations each and every month, and these illegals are taking the reparations. That pisses them off. Now, a lot of people that are legal immigrants are pissed off, or of first-generation Americans, because their families came here legally. They didn't jump the line, and they didn't get set up with free room, board, and credit cards, and EBT cards, and free rent, and luxury hotel stays, and all of that. And so what the Democrats are doing are alienating big parts of their base that they take for granted.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, I mean, they have to work really hard to get into the country the right way, and it's a big moment for them, when they get their citizenship. So, these people are just walking in that most likely get, 5 to 7 year court sentences or court dates in the future. So they're just, meanwhile, strolling around, who knows how many will actually show up. So, yeah,
even Melania, our first lady, Melania, right? Before she was, she's a citizen now, right? But when she was here on a work visa, her visa was expiring. She went back to Slovakia, and did whatever she had to do to get an updated visa. Then she came back, and that's the way it should be done.
Yep. That's respect for the country too. It shows the people that work hard to get in. They respect the country and they respect the law and order. So,
and it's not only that, they got these BS stories. They talk about climate refugees. That's, everybody knows that's BS. What part of South America is uninhabitable because of climate change? Give me a break. Then they talk about their seeking asylum from, like Venezuela because South America has always been a banana republic. There has never been political stability and freedom in Latin America. It's always been a continent from our southern border, Mexico, all the way down to the tip of South America. It's always been a third world corrupt place of political oppression. So this is just the culture of Latin America. None of this is new. I mean, this is, and people see it. And plus the replacement theory is true. We're seeing that happen. This story I had, they have more people coming in than in the first quarter than in Wisconsin, where you're calling me from. I mean, think about that. That's just in the first quarter of this year.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I don't even know. It's not sustainable. So, and communism doesn't work. That's why we don't use communism. So,
That's right. I appreciate the call. Good. Welcome. Thanks for calling. First time caller, long time listener, right?
Yep. Thanks, Brian. Have a good one.
You too. Good to hear from you. Now, if you'd like to support my content, which includes, of course, my YouTube channel, my podcast, the radio show, go to mypillow.com. Use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and free shipping site-wide on all products. Great specials going on right now. The 6-piece MyPillow towel set, 50% off, just $29.98 with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Look at that, 50% off and free shipping, guys. Look at this, 50% off the MyPillow mattress topper. Hang in there, caller. Hold on. 50% off the mattress topper, either the 2-inch or the 3-inch. Even the My Pillow Mattress Topper 2.0, huge savings, up to 50% off and free shipping with my promo code Kane at checkout. And, of course, you're also supporting the great Mike Lindell as well. Promo code Kane at checkout. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I got something to tell
Richie,
you. I know
Richie, you called back. I got other people.
Blow your mind, Ryan.
Yeah.
It'll blow your mind. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
In New York City, that's so broke because of this immigration, where they're not picking up garbage in certain places on the streets, the parks, they're not hiring police. You know how they're going to try to get the money for the trains, and they want people, because the trains are broke too? You know, they're putting cameras on the sides, on the streets, and charging tolls to drive into Manhattan, Bronx, all of it. In other words, you're going to pay a toll like a bridge to drive on a street in New York because they're that broke. That's what I want you to know.
I appreciate the call. Well, good. Well, here's what you should do. Don't go to New York. Appreciate the call, Richie. All right. If you'd like to call in, it's one call per day, Richie. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free no matter where you're watching. It's the same number I use at the radio station, 888-465-2631. If you're watching live, the number's pinned at the top of the chat. Now, this is something. You know that disaster. Oh, and if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk, guys. You'll love this channel, I promise you. Now, you know that disastrous press conference that Biden had? The report came out. He's corrupt. He illegally had the documents, but he's not mentally fit enough for prosecution, right? And he had that disastrous press conference. Look at this. Biden's White House removed his Thursday night press conference. Hey, caller, hold on for just a minute. They removed his Thursday night press conference and unlisted the video from the White House YouTube page. So they're trying to erase the historical record of that press conference by taking it offline, the White House. I've never heard of such a thing. I hope that this becomes a major scandal in the media. Don't hold your breath. I've never seen something. That's how bad the press conference was. I'd like to know the process that led to them doing that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, Jessica from Florida.
Hey, Jessica. What's
up?
Yeah,
do these liberal pundits really think people are buying their crap? I mean, there has to be.
Yes, they do.
It's ridiculous.
No, they do.
I mean, it's like I still can't believe people like Jay and that jerk you have called that always says Trump's the Antichrist all the time. They call up just to say that they want to hear themselves on the radio or something.
No,
like
they
that.
believe that. No, they do. They do believe it. Yeah, you know, listen. Michael Savage said years ago, liberalism is a mental disorder, and you hear it with a lot of.
Jay and Renee are going to miss their welfare checks because they should be pissed. Those the ones should be pissed because they're not getting all the freebies like they normally were getting.
You know,
that's why the black, like you said, that's why the black people are turning against the Biden because, hey, my money's going to the illegal immigrants.
That's right.
And they don't,
but you talk about the Democrats like on television. Do they think people are buying their crap? They do because I was playing some of this audio earlier. People like Jen Psaki and at that level Mayorkas, they have this club. They've all gone to Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Columbia. They're that permanent Washington class. They think that the people outside of Washington that did not go to one of those Ivy Leagues that were just stupid white trash and will believe anything they say. They believe they're the ruling elite. And they do think that people are buying their crap. Yes, they do.
Well, they got something else because people aren't even getting their news from TV anymore. Only the old timers that don't follow other, like Gateway Pundit and stuff like that.
I'll tell you,
like Steve, he's kind of old and he's not into the internet and he's stuck on that Fox crap all the time.
Well, here's the okay. Appreciate the call. Here's the thing with that. People don't get their news off television and everything. The Washington crowd don't accept that, right? The national media, the networks, Fox, CNN, it's all an arm of the Washington deep state, and their lives revolve around it. When I was playing the clips from Meet the Press earlier as an example, Jen Psaki and Mayorkas and the other Democrats that were on Meet the Press and the other Sunday shows this weekend. In their world, everything revolves around those Sunday shows. They think that they're still relevant. You know, it's like the Super Bowl last night. That was the first football game I've watched in years. But people that are football fanatics, they think the world lives and dies. I'm watching some of these plays last night. These football players make a play, and they think they're gladiators that are changing the world or something, okay? They're football fans are in this football bubble where the whole world revolves around football. The permanent Washington class, which the media are a part of, even the New York-based media, they're in this bubble where they think the entire world revolves around them and what they think, and they think we're stupid. And they can sell any load of crap to us they want. So, yeah, they do think that they're making a difference. And this story I was just sharing with you, where they took Biden's Thursday senile old coot press conference, they unlisted it. Look at this. This is in the Gateway Pundit. On Thursday, Biden delivered brief remarks and took questions from reporters after special counsel Robert Hur released a 345-page report on his classified documents scandal. He found Biden willfully retained classified information, a criminal offense, decided not to charge him. He says there's evidence that Biden did the crimes, but he's not fit. So anyway, hold on, caller. I'll be right with you. So Biden did the press conference, and the White House has removed the video. You know, for them to remove the video and think no one's going to notice tells you that this bubble they're in, they think they can sell whatever they want to sell to us and be successful. We're on to them. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Daniel from London.
Hey Daniel. Hey, Daniel from Kentucky. What's up?
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller. You know that they want to play this Dr. Phil with all these analysts, analyzing. I think it's a cover-up for the Biden as far as...
Yeah, the Bidens. Hello? Yeah, I can hear. You got to turn the volume down of whatever device you're watching me on in the background.
Yeah, I think they all playing Dr. Phil as far as the analyst goes on TV of analyzing. But it's all a cover-up for the Bidens. They know the President Biden, they can't charge him as a sitting president other than, impeach him. But look at Bo Biden. I mean, not Bo, but
Hunter.
The other Biden boy.
Yeah, the druggie.
Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden.
The artist.
It's all a cover-up for the Bidens are playing this sympathetic thing, like he's cognate, which he is incognate, but his boy, you mentioned the other day about being in diapers. Look at his picture of his son in diapers with sunglasses on, and they blame it on incognate crackheadness and everything like that. And they expect the public to believe all this, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And like Biden, he goes home to Connecticut all the time, right? Which is where the classified documents were. The reason that Biden goes back to Connecticut all the time, there are no visitor logs at the house in Connecticut. There's visitor logs at the White House. That's where Biden does all of his crooked dealings in Connecticut. And he could do it off book because there's no visitor logs in Connecticut.
Look at the box that he's got them in. It looks like, wore out at a yard sale. Hunter Biden or ever who is accessing his home. Look at those documents. Plus, he's probably, he's enriched his whole family. And I
know. How do you afford the beach house? Those documents bought the beach house. Hey, listen, thanks for the call, man. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Good
What's your
morning,
name?
Brian. Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff. How you been?
Fighting some sinus and ear problems, but I'll get over it.
That's the worst.
But listen, when they said that Joe Biden was incompetent to stand trial, Congress should immediately filed that amendment, what is it, the 25th Amendment, and removed him from office. If he's unfit to remember and stand trial for stuff that he did wrong, what the hell is he doing in that Oval Office?
See, now I learned this last week. I had no idea about this until last week after the press conference. we all know that the vice president and the cabinet can invoke the 25th Amendment. I did not know that the Congress.
Right.
I did not know that the Congress could.
I did.
And I don't think anybody really did. I've never heard that before, but it is true. Now, what it takes is it takes
2/3.
No, that's removal from office. No, the 25th Amendment. I'm not as familiar with this as I am a lot of other things. As like I said, I've only just heard of this. The Speaker of the House, together with the Senate pro tempore, can bring about 25th Amendment procedures in the Congress. It takes the Speaker of the House and the Senate pro tempore. The problem is the Senate pro tempore is a Democrat. And just replaced Feinstein in that position. So you got a radical Democrat in that position in the Senate. They're never going to come together with Mike Johnson and invoke the 25th Amendment against Joe Biden. You know, I think Kamala should be impeached just for allowing this elder abuse to continue. They already have one cabinet member signed off on it. Merrick Garland says he's not mentally fit.
He admitted it publicly.
Yeah, by allowing the report. And you look at what happened. The White House, Jill Biden, who obviously is running the country right now, because she's come out and defended. She came out and attacked Merrick Garland for releasing that report without redacting those portions out, because he didn't take part in their continued cover-up of Biden being out of it mentally. She wants him punished.
But I don't think the Democrats want her as president. That's why nothing's being done.
I don't know. Something's being done. Wait, hey, I hope you're feeling better. It's good to hear from you, man.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, take care. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian, what's up?
Hey, hi, Brian. How are you? First time calling your podcast. I really enjoy it. Usually I'm calling the radio show. You know, Brian, from personal experience, my father had the dementia. And in our case, it was a very quick decline. There's no way he's going to be able to function, I don't even think, for another 6 months. And now I'm wondering, if they're going to stay with him, is it possible he can just pull down that whole Democratic Party?
Well, the thing about it, it's the Democrats that are bringing him down. You know, when people have cognitive decline, it's it's a disease, it's an illness. And what happens with cognitive decline, stress makes it worse. Stress makes it more symptomatic. And that report has caused that report, followed up by that insane press conference, has probably made him much, much worse. And
well, you can see the stress when you watch him in the press conference now. He gets so upset that this is really going to increase very, very rapidly. Pretty soon he won't be able to do any press conferences at all.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to tell everybody again, the reason I'm not, there's a best of show running on the radio today. I took today off the radio because of Super Bowl Monday. I knew I'd be up late last night, and I didn't want to go in with just like 2 hours sleep and do the radio show this morning. And, so, and plus it's like a holiday. I mean, the roads are empty, the big call-in sick day. I remember last Super Bowl Monday, I'm like, next year, there's just no way. I say that every year, but this is the first year I said, okay. So I thought I would do the live stream here from my home studio, which, by the way, I was 5 minutes late for, too, because I was up so late last night. But anyway, so, and the story I had, I don't know how long you've been watching, but the White House took down the speech or the press conference from Thursday after the report came out of Biden from the White House official YouTube channel. That's huge. How did that happen?
And he didn't do his Super Bowl two minute, when they give him a time to talk for the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
I mean, they can't keep hiding this. I mean, even the people that have a mild interest in politics are starting to notice there's something really wrong here. I mean, they hit him in the last election. It's not going to work this time.
It's not, and it's not funny. It's scary. I mean, you look at that Putin interview that Tucker did. Putin's at the top of his game. And and we've got our president who's out of it mentally. The country looks to be being run by Jill Biden and Obama, who probably don't like each other too much, especially now. And the defense secretary's back in intensive care again. So, I mean, this is dangerous. This is dangerous.
It really is. And it seems like they're violating a lot of the constitutional responsibilities they have for their different jobs as Secretary of Defense, President of the United States. I just don't see how much longer they can keep this up. I mean, it's out in the open now. They can't hide it.
Well, I'll tell you, it's Kamala. This is it's this thing. Kamala Harris could remove him from office, and she'd win because and she doesn't do it. And think about it. Not only could Kamala Harris become president today, there's a process. She'd be acting. She would be the first female president and first female minority. She would be forever have a place in the history books as a historical figure. They would name schools after her, build monuments and statues named after her, and she doesn't move in and invoke the 25th Amendment. She's already got one cabinet member signed off on it, Merrick Garland. So why does Kamala Harris not step up and make herself a historical figure for the rest of time? Why does she not invoke the 25th Amendment?
To me, she seems a little fearful of the responsibility of becoming president. I mean, maybe there's a lot of the insecurity there that she doubts her abilities. I mean, I sure doubt her abilities. I mean, her as president would be even a bigger disaster, I think.
I don't think for her to be afraid like that, she'd have to be self-aware. Kamala Harris doesn't view herself as a stupid person. Stupid.
Oh my goodness.
People don't. I think she's afraid of the Bidens.
Yeah. Well, I heard her and Joe Biden don't get along at all.
Yeah.
Apparently they hate each other.
I mean, listen, she's got a lot of Democrat support. All these clips I played earlier from Meet the Press, they want Biden out. The Washington Post want Biden out. The Obamas want Biden out.
Yes.
The donors want Biden out. If she came forward today and had a press conference and saying, I am invoking the 25th Amendment, I'm asking the cabinet to come along. We already have Merrick Garland. Not only, and I'll tell you this is crazy, but I know no one will agree with me on this. Not only would she be successful and be this historical figure I described as not only the first female president, but she's a double minority. So, she would come out. Yeah, she would come out on top of the world. She'd waltz into the nomination, and she would be portrayed by the media as this strong, powerful woman. And she would be huge. She still wouldn't beat Trump, okay? But it would be why would she pass up and not just her husband? Why will she not do it? I don't think it's that she's afraid of the job.
The people in the Democratic Party that don't want it in there, how can they get around it? I mean, the succession
her
is there.
career's over. Vice presidents amount to nothing.
Right.
Okay. How many vice presidents amount to much? Most of them don't become president. I know people think that, but that's not true. Once she's done with this vice presidency, she's done. She's retired. She's a nobody. Nobody's going to care about her anymore. Now she could make herself one of the most historical women in American history. And she doesn't make the move.
It would feed her ego, that's for sure. I mean, that line would I can see how she'd be attracted to that, but I mean, the media can try and sell her, but the people are looking at her and say, "Oh no."
There's something up with that. There's something up with that.
The Democratic Party's going to really cut. They got Biden. They got to get rid of him. I think half the people don't want her to get in the White House. Who's next? Who's behind her? I mean, they're really kind of caught now in an abyss.
If she had, by the way, it's good to hear from you. I appreciate the call.
Absolutely.
All right, take care. Yeah, anytime I'm live streaming, even when I'm in this, I live stream in this studio on the weekends a lot, and I do, as you can hear, I take live calls. Just like I do on the radio. It's the same number that I use on the radio. If you're watching live, the number is pinned at the top of the chat, 888-465-2631. I want you guys to think about this. What would happen if Kamala Harris came out today and addressed the American people and said, this report came out, the press conference. I'm reluctant, but I am invoking the 25th Amendment, and I am asking the cabinet to sign off on this, that the president is not mentally competent to continue to serve. She would be the champion that she's always fantasized of being. So what is stopping her from doing that? I think she's afraid of the Bidens. I can't think of another reason. She would have the Democrat Party behind her. Now, this border issue, this story here just really pisses me off. Illegal alien in Midland, Texas kills 10-year-old boy in hit and run. He's detained by ICE. Yeah, ICE. This is one of those crimes that's preventable, that is happening because of what the Democrats are doing, right? They have a completely open southern border, and this 10-year-old boy, if Joe Biden and the Democrats were doing their job, this 10-year-old boy would be alive today. And these crimes, this is not an isolated crime. I mean, this is things that are happening all the time. These are crimes that could have been prevented. These are crimes that should never have happened. They would not happen if Trump was in the White House, because guys like that wouldn't be in the country to kill people. And that's the way it is. And I think enough people have woken up to this idea that the Democrats, not only are the Democrats losing, okay, they're going to continue to lose because they have totally alienated so many areas of their base over this southern border issue that they're not going to be able to win them back anytime soon. Now, I'll tell you, though, who is coming down soon, and that's Fani. Look at this. Look at this. This is in Breitbart. Whistleblowers are lining up to testify in the case. Oh, well, I'll take a call, then we'll get to Fani. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning. It's Diane from Deerfield Beach.
Hey, Diane in Deerfield. What's up?
Hi. I just tuned in, and I can't even believe my ears this morning. How do you think that Putin, you think he wants to stop the war? How do you think that Putin could stop the war?
I'm a little unclear. What do you mean?
Do you think that Ukraine is attacking Russia?
Oh, you're talking, okay.
I tuned in.
This is what I think.
This is what wants to stop the war. How can he stop the war? I wonder.
He could stop the war. This is what I think. Okay, I think what's going on, and maybe you disagree with me on this. I believe that the war between Ukraine and Russia is a civil war and none of our business, and we shouldn't be involved at all. That's what I believe. What are your thoughts?
Okay, you think it's a civil war. Okay.
What do you think it is? What do you think it is?
You think that Putin, it's a retakeover of territory that was lost to them, but lost. But you're saying that if Putin,
that's
you
right.
think Putin, so you think that Ukraine should stop attacking Putin?
Yeah, they should have. This is what I think. This is what I think.
You said that Putin should stop.
This is what I think. I think Zelensky. I think the United States and Ukraine should call for an immediate summit meeting with Putin and have peace talks and end this war. What's wrong with that?
You said that Putin. You think what you said was you think that Putin wants to end the war, and you think that the interview could help aid that.
Yeah, he wants to. He get okay. In the interview
and
that
stop trying to take over territory that's not his anymore.
When Tucker Carlson interviewed Putin, Putin went through a 1,000-year history of the region and pointed out that he believes that Ukraine has always been part of Russia and it still is today. Okay? So I don't agree or disagree with that. I just don't care. But I'll tell you this: why did Lincoln go to war with the Southern states during the Civil War? Do you know why?
I don't know what the answer you think would be.
Well, what do you think?
However, I'm not talking about the Civil War.
No. Well, no. But it's a similar
today,
concept.
2024, Putin
yeah.
still trying to take over territory that's not his.
I'll tell you. Listen.
Okay.
Abraham Lincoln said states do not have a right to secede from the Union. And the Civil War was fought for many reasons, primarily over slavery was the cause of it.
How long ago did, if you want to say secede, how long ago did Ukraine secede from Russia?
When the Soviet Union
and was
fell.
Independent from Russia.
In the early 90s, after the Soviet Union fell.
So you think that therefore, you don't like war, you want to stop the war.
Yes.
So you think that therefore in 2022, that they should decide to attack and kill people and
No, I don't care. See, I don't think Ukraine is any of our business. I don't care. I give you another example. Puerto Rico is not a state. Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States that we conquered.
Really?
It's not a. You're aware Puerto Rico is not a state, correct?
Absolutely.
But it's a U.S. territory. Oh, hold on, listen. It's a U.S. territory that we won in the Spanish-American War in 1898. We took it from Spain. There is a large movement in Puerto Rico of Puerto Rican separatists. Puerto Rican separatists have committed acts of terrorism against this country, including attacking the President of the United States once in the guest residence, Harry Truman. They want independence. There's a massive group, and they've been there for 100 years in Puerto Rico who want Puerto Rican independence. If Puerto Rico decided they were going to be an independent country today, do you think that they should be allowed to leave the Union? Even though they're not, or should we keep Puerto Rico?
Well, do you think that we should go in and attack?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If I wouldn't say blow it up.
Really?
If Puerto, no, I didn't say. I didn't say blow it up.
Come on.
I didn't say blow it up. If Puerto Rico made a move,
your analogies are not.
It's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Number two, there was no reason that Putin had to go in and try to take over the Ukraine.
Did you watch Tucker's interview? Did you watch Tucker's interview of Putin?
No.
Oh, okay, so you don't know.
Because the first thing you said was, I think that you said Putin wants to end the war. And I called to ask you, how can Putin end the war?
Having peace talks. Having peace talks with Zelensky. And India.
What does he need a peace talk for? He doesn't need a peace talk.
Yeah. What he told. Well, see, if you watch what he told.
What is he going to say to Zelensky?
What he told.
What is he going to say to Zelensky?
Excuse me. What he told.
I'm taking you over. I'm stopping the war, but I'm taking over your country.
Putin told Tucker Carlson that the Ukraine is a satellite state of the United States that's been run by the CIA for decades. And what Putin wants is he wants the CIA and the United States influence out of Ukraine, and he doesn't want Ukraine to be a part of NATO. That's what he wants.
That's what he wants.
Yeah, but who cares about
so
Ukraine?
He doesn't really want to end the war.
Why you think?
Want to end the war.
Why should we be in Ukraine?
Why should he have anything to say about Ukraine?
Because it's been part of
territory.
Because Ukraine for 1,000 years was a part of Russia, and he believes it still is.
Okay.
Like we would, like if Puerto Rico,
he's a nice guy, right, Brian?
No, I didn't say he's a nice guy. He's a dictator. He's a dictator.
Right.
He's a dictator. If Puerto Rico declared independence today and said we are no longer the United States, we wouldn't allow it. We wouldn't allow it. You can't let your a piece of United States territory declare independence. You know, and what I'm telling you about, And what I'm telling about Ukraine and Russia is, who cares? Why should we care about Ukraine and Russia?
I got nothing to say to you, Brian. I just.
Why? You called me. I didn't call you.
Yeah,
Why should we care? Why should we care about Ukraine and Russia?
Oh, see, now you can't really answer the questions.
I've answered it many different ways.
You say, why should we care? Why should we care? So why are you talking about it? Why are you talking about it on the radio?
Because the reason we talk about Ukraine is because Biden started this war with Russia and Ukraine, okay, and continues U.S. involvement in it. The Congress just passed more funding for Ukraine. We've given them $1 trillion. That's why. That's why we're talking about it. We want to end it. We want to end the war. We want the U.S. out of Ukraine.
Right. I agree.
Okay.
But
all right.
a statement like, I think Putin wants to end the war, I'm asking you, how can he end the war?
By having a peace, having peace talks.
What was the quickest, fastest, simplest
when
way
Biden,
to end the war?
Listen, Zelensky and Biden said they will not have a conversation with Putin. So let them have peace talks with Putin.
Well, why did he have to have a conversation? They don't need a conversation.
That's how you win the war.
Out. Stop attacking Ukraine.
You have peace talks, and you negotiate a peace. We had peace talks with the Vietnamese during the Vietnam War.
Leave my country. Goodbye. I'm in Ukraine.
So tell me, are you voting for Donald Trump?
Yes.
Well, so you're voting for Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
Donald Trump agrees with me. Donald Trump agrees with me on Ukraine.
Okay,
not you.
That Ukraine has to secede to Putin?
Well, that there should be peace talks.
So he doesn't support Zelensky?
No.
Donald Crane doesn't support Zelensky. Okay,
President Trump does not support.
Yeah.
President Trump does not support Zelensky. Zelensky's corrupt.
Okay. All right.
You okay?
Have a good day, Brian.
Yeah, you have a good day too. Do you guys believe she's voting for Trump? Does anyone believe she's voting for Trump, by the way? You know, the thing about peace talks, we had peace talks during the entire Vietnam War, and we had peace talks with the North Vietnamese during the Korean War while the fighting was going on. You know, this is the first modern war where there were no peace talks. Right? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, my brother Brian, IB.
Hey, IB, what's up?
That lady is borderline just red pill 2 or 3 days. She's right there. We almost have her on our side. Great call. She's right there. I believe her when she says she's going to vote for Trump.
You do?
So I think yeah, I do. Normally I wouldn't because she's saying the other things. But here's the deal. If lady, I don't remember your name. If you're still listening, Ukraine has always been a part of Russia. These were like nomads, people on the outskirts living on their own like nomads, like hermits and hobbits.
Yeah.
My point is the elites of the world came in through their bloodline. If you listen to Putin in the beginning of the talk with Tucker, goes back to bloodline. They create it, Ukraine, a little part of Russia, and called it their own without approval. It's like trying to do something in our country without going through Congress and having it ratified. So therefore, it is still Russia. So the fact that you believe Ukraine is its own sovereignty is the problem is in your argument. The lady has a good argument, but she's missing the oversight that it's always been Russia and a certain Bolsheviks or whatever you want to call them or back in those days, they created it. It doesn't mean that it's theirs. So Putin is right in this sense. I'll make the comparison.
Yeah.
Gaza is still Israel. It's not Palestine. There is no Palestine state. Israel always owned Gaza and gave Gaza to Palestinians to be peaceful, and they destroyed everything that the Israelis put in place for them to live, but they destroyed it anyway out of their
here's my thing.
One more point, Brian.
Well, just hold your point for a second. Here's what's going on, right? Right. How are we supposed to be concerned about the border sovereignty and integrity of Ukraine when our southern border is completely wide open and we're being invaded and attacked every day? Right?
I love how they don't have exactly. Why isn't there more outrage and arguments about that versus Ukraine or Gaza? Why don't we have more and more talks about our country and our southern border versus Ukraine and Gaza?
Exactly.
Are we not Americans, or are we not Americans?
Exactly.
Now, as for one thing, Brian, I need you to give me just a little more leeway on the radio sometimes, because you misunderstand me sometimes. And believe me when I tell you, I do understand the responsibility of the radio show, the Steve Kane Show, and your responsibilities. When I was talking about the crack, going back to coke, and going back to a chemical, the chemical was produced by the Bushes, giving it to those guys who created the cocaine.
Okay.
It needs the chemicals to...
All right.
Now moving along.
I get it.
Now moving along.
No. All right, moving along. We'll take the next call. Okay, IB. All right. Thank you for your call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jersey Mike from West Palm Beach.
Hey, Jersey Mike. What's up?
Listen, with regard to the border, a lot of people don't know this, but I've been there many times because my children went to University of Arizona, which is in Tucson, Arizona. That's about 60, 80 miles south of the actual border. When you go through the turnstile for a customs, that's one thing. But if you don't want to do that, if you just walk down either way about maybe 100 feet, you'll find that there are no gates, no fences, and you can just walk into the neighborhood or walk out of the neighborhood of either the United States or Mexico. That's at New Galles. So, there's no barriers there. Anybody that wants to do that can do that.
Okay.
And I will point something else I mentioned to you. My daughter lives in Scottsdale. It's a big money town of Arizona, and they don't have enough of voter parties to go around because of all the invaders that are coming into our country that never used them before in their life. And if you've never used them, you're not going to start using them because you just don't have them in the country they come from.
Yeah. No,
So whatever it's worth. Oh, by the way, one last thing. A lot of people don't know this from history. Most of California used to be Mexico, and we annexed it.
The whole Southwest
during
was
the Louisiana Purchase.
No, it was the whole Southwest of the United States, including Texas, used to be Mexico, and it was a variety of things. The finality was the Mexican-American War.
One of the fun cities I really enjoy was El Paso, and if you go there today, you don't want to be there because it's really bad.
If Mexico, California has got a lot of problems with all this liberal do-gooder crap out there. But if Mexico would have kept California, it would not be a nice place. It would be a third world pit of hell, just like the rest of Mexico.
I agree. I want to know what your opinion is of the governor going ahead and attempting to block Mexicans and foreigners, invaders from coming in with his barbed wire being shot down by our federal government. What's your opinion of that?
Oh, you're talking about in Texas? I mean, well, no. I mean, he's not doing it. You're talking about Greg Abbott?
Because the governor said you can't do it, whereas his state government should prevail, I would think.
What are they going to do? I mean, he's got the Texas National Guard down there, Greg Abbott, defending the Texan border. Yeah. I mean, what is Greg Abbott supposed to do? Allow criminals to come in here and victimize his citizens?
No, he should not.
Exactly.
He should not, and that's why the federal government and Biden is off the rocker. I mean, it's the most terrible government I've ever seen in my life, and I'm 78 years old, so I've seen a lot of things come and go over time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks for your call. Let me talk to you.
No, you called me. I didn't call you. You called me.
I know.
I said thanks for your call.
Thank you.
No, thank you for calling me. All right, thank you. Oh boy. Yeah, now, if you're just joining the stream, I'm obviously not at the radio station today. I took today off because, well, I would if I would have gone into the radio station today, I would have been out of it. I just would not have had enough sleep. I just wouldn't have. Now, if you'd like to support my content, go to mypillow.com. Use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. It is free shipping site-wide on all products, no matter how large, no matter how small. And not only is it free shipping with my promo code Kane, you also get the incredible deal that's going on right now. You can save up to 50% off the MyPillow mattress toppers. And a lot of people ask me, there's the 2-inch mattress topper, there's the 3-inch mattress topper, and there's the mattress topper 2.0. And sometimes people will ask me, what about the 2-inch mattress topper? How is it? And I'll tell you, it's very good. My daughter in California, we got her the 2-inch mattress topper for her sleeper sofa because, when I visit or the grandparents, we use her sleeper sofa, right? And we got the 2-inch mattress topper for her sleeper sofa so that it would easily fold up into the couch. And I have slept on the 2-inch MyPillow mattress topper. It is spectacular. Okay, and it's very, very good. The one I'm sleeping on now is the 2.0 with the temperature regulating technology here at home, but the 2-inch mattress topper, very, very good, and that's 50% off, and you get free shipping. And it's not just the mattress topper, it's everything site-wide. The MyPillow 6-piece towel set, which of course I have, is 50% off, just $29.98. These are the best towels you've ever had. I heard Mike Lindell for the longest time say towels that actually work. What a concept. And I heard him say that before I used the MyPillow towel, and he is so right. These towels absorb the water. Other towels I've had my whole life, they just basically spread the water around on your body, and then if a towel's wet, it drips. Not the MyPillow towels. It will dry you off and holds the water. They don't drip. They're just $29.98 plus free shipping with my promo code Kane at checkout. Now, the MyPillow Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, these are just incredible deals. The queen size, normally $139.96, just $59.98, and these are the ones I have. I have queen size bed. The king size, normally $159.98, just $69.98 with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, plus free shipping. Now, the Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, these are, Giza Cotton's the best cotton in the world. And the Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, it's like Goldilocks. No matter what time of year it is, you are always the perfect temperature in your bed with these Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. It's because that fine Giza cotton. They're 100% Giza cotton, by the way. Mike Lindell says there's a lot of people out there that advertise Giza sheets. They're only 10% Giza cotton. His are 100% Giza cotton. And one thing I tell people a lot about these, it's amazing. The bottom sheet, the fitted sheet with the elastic on the corners, and these Giza sheets, all 4 corners fit on the mattress perfectly each and every time. We've had some of these sheets for years, just 2 fingers and a thumb, and you'll get them on each corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, easily. With other sheets, you know how it is. You get one corner on, a second one you get on a little bit, third one, the fourth one you barely get it on, just enough to cover just a little sliver of the corner, and it's never on good. With the Giza sheets, fits perfectly. So you can use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, on all these great specials you see at MyPillow.com, plus free shipping with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Yes, that's right. It's a great way to support my content and, of course, everything that I do. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. So let me get back to this a little bit. This is on Fani. Fani is at some point going to be arrested. Her financial crimes are just too great and too obvious. Whistleblowers are lining up to testify in the case surrounding Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, who was accused of misconduct. And I was hearing reported over the weekend that she was living with this boy toy of hers, her gigolo. And now it's coming out that they were in a relationship prior to her hiring him. She's paid him nearly $700,000. When the story first broke, the record showed she paid him $650-some thousand. So he's still making money. So she may have paid him $700,000 plus by now. And because of the vacations and especially living together, she's basically paying herself, and this is what's going to be her undoing. The other people like Joe Biden that are in government that do corruption, they have their kids, their son-in-law, their daughter-in-law, their brothers, their sisters. It's not in commingled money, okay, that they do their. Now, even though Fani isn't married to her gigolo, he's still a kept man right? And she's benefiting through the dating and the vacations and everything. She's co-mingling the money. And we very well will see, quite possibly, a mugshot at the Fulton County Jail with Fani. Couldn't happen to a nicer lady. Now, listen, guys, thanks for watching. I'll be back in the radio studio tomorrow. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. And everyone who's already subscribed, like the video if you don't mind. That helps grow the channel and gets our videos shown to people who do not already know about this channel and this great MAGA community we have. My name is Brian Craig. Thanks again for watching. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll see you next time.